What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here.
Rick in here.
And in today's video, we're going to break down exactly how to find motivated sellers. We're going to share an unlimited seller's hack, if you will, and really give you a beginner's guide of finding motivated sellers and exactly how to actually go out there, find hot leads daily for you to go out here, fill your pipeline, and get the leads that you deserve, the deals that you deserve, and get it ready to go. Because I think one of the biggest questions people have, especially when they're starting out wholesaling, it's a big fallacy. It's like you see a bunch of these people struggling in wholesaling real estate, right? And like they're struggling, they can't get a deal, they can barely get leads. And then you see this person, maybe the same age or experience, and they got these leads flooded and they're posting checks and you feel very disgruntled and you don't know what's going on. And generally when you see someone doing better than you in wholesaling real estate, it's not because they're a better closer. They're better at dispo than you. It's usually a big marketing gap that I've seen. And most of the time, some of these people are even working less than you or they're marketing less. It's insane. So we're going to break down these hacks, a lot of the myths people have with marketing, and really how to find motivated sellers. Because truthfully, in the business right now, that is the hardest part in wholesaling real estate, is actually going out there and finding motivated sellers. So we're going to break it down today. So I'm pumped up for this. I'm excited. Are you ready to go?
I'm pumped, dude.
I'm ready because, I mean, marketing is the lifeline of this business, right?
It's everything.
It's everything, guys. So let's get it going. We got a lot of people on today. I'm always excited for the people coming on and excited just to share our sheer knowledge for wholesaling real estate when it comes to finding sellers, and we're ready to go. So I love everyone on today. We got everyone from around the entire country. Let's go. I'm excited, guys. So if you're ready to go, if you're ready to learn this business from scratch, actually how to get it going, how to learn wholesaling real estate, guys, do us a big favor and smash that like button and subscribe. And let's break it down, because the problem is I'm always excited. You're always excited, but we got to pump the people up.
Let's do it.
So when we talk about marketing, you got to get jacked for it, because that's the most important part of this business. So without further ado, let's cue it in. Woo!
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, again, they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up, bitch. Get up.
Oh yeah, I love it. Every
so
single time there's a new thing I see in that video, and I don't know how many times you played it, but always a new thing in that pump up video. I always love it. I'm excited. So let's break it down, guys. So this is the video where we're talking about finding sellers as a beginner. We're ready to go. Everyone knows that usually on Thursdays we have our one-on-one calls with everyone in the mastermind, but changed it today. Had to change our schedule. So today's the day with the mastermind where everyone can hop on, talk to us one-on-one after we're done kind of talking about the topic of the day, and ask your wholesaling real estate questions live to us, be mentored one-on-one, and we do it. So we're excited about this one. So let's kind of break down exactly, like, let's start it from the top, going out here and finding motivated sellers, finding leads, quote unquote, unlimited, amount of leads. It really, if you're a beginner in this business, marketing is really what you should be focusing on. I truly believe acquisitions and dispositions kind of comes naturally to a point, because a lot of acquisitions I've seen is just connecting with a seller, just really talking about their issues, and then just seeing how much they want to sell the house for and get the best price. And it really comes naturally, where the marketing, it's like, that's the thing that's constant work. It doesn't really feel like work going on appointments or talking to a seller, because it's just natural. You have a deal, like, just sell, like, there's plenty of buyers for it. Now it's the marketing that's the hard part. And that's really where I want to talk about today, because we did a poll, I believe a week ago, where it's like, what are you struggling the most on? A lot of people are struggling with marketing. And that's where I think we should be focusing on, right?
Yeah, I will tell you sorry about that. As a wholesaler, your number one skill set, you have to be a wicked marketer. Like I always tell you people I'm really good at connecting with people, but that skill set would go wayside if I didn't know how to market. So remember, marketing is the vehicle that connects you to the motivated sellers. It eventually connects you to the cash buyers. And if you stop marketing, you don't have to worry about acquisitions or dispositions anymore because it won't happen. So I'm telling you guys, your number one skill set, especially in the first 90 days of wholesaling, is 100% marketing. Because if you don't do that right, nothing else will work.
I agree. And this kind of comes down to marketing. It's like, what is marketing, right? To a point. So like, let's just kind of define the marketing, how to find. So marketing is, if I have to say it like one sentence, is just like finding motivated sellers, right? Like that's what it is. And this kind of brings us to like, what's a motivated seller, things like, so the point of marketing, in my opinion, is just finding somebody who wants to sell their house and then asking them the qualifying questions. And that's it. Because again, wholesaling real estate has those three key components: marketing, acquisitions, dispositions, and each one has their own separate goals. So goal of marketing, which I've seen when really look at wholesaling just from a macro perspective, it's like marketing is all you got to do is find somebody who wants to sell their house and they're qualified enough. And now acquisitions job is just to find somebody who wants to sell their property and it's qualified. And all acquisitions does is write a contract. Like, did I say closing technique, something sexy? No, it's like just signing a contract, really what acquisitions is about. Now, signing the best contracts, the best, right? But at the end of the day, that's acquisitions job. Their job isn't to be calling a bunch of people and qualifying them and asking, like, acquisitions should have qualified leads already or semi-warm leads. And then dispositions is just selling that contract. And they all got to work together. But generally, that's what, like, I mean, let me know if you agree. Like, from our business and every business I've seen, you can do virtual, physical wholesaling. That's what it is. Because once acquisition starts doing the marketing side or the dispo side, it gets weird, right? They got to be separated.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part of marketing is when you put all these deals together, it always feels good as the person doing the marketing. Like, okay, because remember, when you find the really good deal, the dispo part of it, that's just like part of the math equation. It's just a number. Remember, all good deals come from marketing. And if you can understand that, you can make mistakes on the acquisition side. You can do it on the dispo side. You can do it on the accounting side. I'm just telling you, the quicker you master marketing, the better you're going to do in this business. Actually, and I've never met a successful wholesaler that was not a phenomenal marketer. So the really cool thing about marketing is you have to take good advice. Don't ever wing marketing on your own, meaning I see people write their own marketing pieces and they go on and on. I've taught you less is more in marketing. You have to leave some sort of intrigue. It's critical. And the biggest piece of marketing, guys, and you all heard me and Zach talk about it before, you have to be extremely consistent even when you're not good at it, because consistency is what will beat out all your saturated markets. Because here's what most people do. I talked about this yesterday. In a saturated market, 90% of the saturation is from rookies and people don't know what they're doing, people that took a course off of TikTok. And I'm here to tell you, those people will all quit within 30 to 60 days. They'll all quit. I see it all the time in probates. Hey, Rick, I tried probates once and I quit. Just quit now. Don't even start it. I'm telling you, you have to be consistent. That's how you get deals in wholesaling.
I agree. And here's one extra thing too. I think people get a misconception with our channel. If you want to learn wholesaling real estate, I got the dog in here. He's just chilling today. But the thing is with wholesaling real estate, it's like the biggest misconception is like, if you want to be successful in this business, you have to get a mentor. And I'm not going telling everyone you got to go pay for a mentorship or anything. Like, you could, but the reason why you want to go after a mentor is if you're just branding this business, learning what marketing strategy is the best, what list is the best, that trial and error is terrible. Like, it's like, if you just go cold turkey without watching anything, without watching any wholesaling content, and you just try it on your own, you're going to fail. It'll take you 5 years to master it, but like, if you could find someone like me on YouTube or just someone in general saying, hey, this is a good list, this is a bad list for this market, you're going to go a lot farther into marketing. Because listening to you and me, when you ask us a question, we've been through the mistakes, right? We've learned what type of marketing stinks, what's good, what's bad. A lot of the mistakes you're going to find is like, we've been through it before. So ask us, right? You can always pay for a course. Like, I'm not going to say no for anyone to paying course, but like, we don't sell courses. And what we do, we still want to be your mentor because I want you to learn from our mistakes. And we made tons of mistakes in the past for wholesaling. So, probably hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars we have lost of just acquisitions mistakes, especially with the marketing. So that's what we're going to break down today. So really, when it comes to your marketing, we're going to share exactly what we've seen.
Here's a little secret. I still make mistakes to this day, 20 years into it. And anyone who says they've got it all mastered, they're 100% lying to you. It's a constant evolving market. True business, you just need more successes and failures. But if you try to eliminate your failures, you will never, ever be in business.
Yeah. There's always going to be failures. But the thing is, because this business is constantly adapting. That's why we go live so much. It's like this business changes.
Well, I think that's why people struggle with the traditional education system and then how real business works. Because in traditional business, you take a test, you prepare, you take it.
Traditional education.
Yeah. And you get kind of like a pass fail. Let's say either you got like an F. I got a few Fs. Or you get like A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you the business world is completely different. You have to fail to succeed, but I prefer you don't go at it blindly. You should have some guidance. I think my 20 years plus his 5-year journey is plenty to kind of get you on the way. But guys, if you don't have failures, I don't care what business you're doing, you're not trying hard enough, because I've had a lot of failures in wholesaling, but I've had more successes and failures. And I remind myself, so when I do have a failure, I kind of move on and I don't beat myself up about it. And you guys need to do the same, especially when you're just getting starting, because in the beginning, you're going to have more failures than successes. And the idea of working with me and Zach is to pivot that from success exceeding your failures.
That's like, the coolest part about it is like, no one remembers your failures.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers the shots Michael Jordan really missed. He made some pretty awesome ones, but like at the end of the day, like your wins are going to be, they are going to supersede your losses, especially in the future. Like, guys, you just got to keep going. And that's, so let's kind of talk about marketing right now, because people are struggling getting deals. They're struggling finding these leads. And we really got to base it back to like the biggest misconceptions in wholesaling, because that video I did yesterday about saturated markets, I think a lot of people learned that like yesterday. It's like a lot of people think, oh, my market saturate's terrible. And what you've noticed and what you can even research, like the top people in like the top markets around the country on quote unquote saturated markets, they don't care.
Yeah.
The cream will always rise to the top. It's like, do you think Steph Curry is scared of how many people want to be in the NBA? He just rises above it, right? Like he doesn't care.
And also keep it on saturated. The population's bigger than ever. There's more houses than ever. There's going to be more and more people going, and technology like this connects us. Dude, saturation, don't use it as an excuse, because it's a cop-out, okay? Obviously, if you're in New York City and you're a beginner and you're starting in Manhattan, you got to kind of wrap your head around, like, is this a feasible market?
I've talked to people in Brooklyn that are wholesaling, like they're making, but remember, this is like San Francisco. We've talked, I've interviewed people from San Fran, $100,000 deals, but they've been in that market forever. They do weird land.
So if you guys get on with me and Zach today, and if you say, hey, my market's saturated, I'm going to ask you really factual questions.
Actually, no, I will. If you tell me market's saturated, I'll list you 2 people I know make 7 figures in that market, most likely. Yeah. Like, come on.
Saturation is your personal interpretation of what's going on in your market. So unless you have data to back it up, and honestly, what are you going to quit? Like, we don't quit in wholesaling. You are the elite 5% that want something completely different for you and your family. Just please don't use the word saturation, because I've heard it since 2002 and 3.
We'll break it down. So when we have to talk about finding motivated sellers, first of all, we have to define what is a motivated seller. in my opinion, a motivated seller is somebody who just wants to sell the property for under market value. Now, what is the motivator for that? Two things. First of all, it's a reason, right? Loss of family, distressed property, things like that. But another big motivator, which people subconsciously know, but they never really listed on paper, which I don't see anyone really talking about, is cash, right? Giving cash for something, especially for a piece of real estate. It's one of the few things, like, because real estate's not really liquid if you really think about it. Like, it takes time for it to sell to a point.
Mm-hmm.
The cool part about cash is you can give somebody the dream of getting rid of the problem under a month, where most realtors, most traditional real estate brokers, it takes months and months and months, inspections. So if you find someone who has a reason for wanting to get rid of it, and then you offer a solution of cash, which is really attractive for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why pawn shops are attractive, used car dealerships. I can just roam the lot and just get rid of it, and you can use it towards my next like, oh my gosh, I love it, right?
So guys, keep in mind, motivated sellers, most people's home is their biggest asset, their biggest, I guess the word score. And I'm not going to go into on a homeowner, because most people, they think they make a ton of money off their home. The reality is, by the time they factor everything they did to upgrade their home and all the energy they spend on it, it's not really the best investment, but it's what they have. It's their nest egg. And they want to pull that equity out of it. Number two, on a motivated seller, remember, I break this down as a subcategory. If the seller's motivated, awesome. You have a high probability of getting a good deal, meaning it's financial. Maybe it's lack of repairs on the house haven't been taken care of. The other one I want you guys to understand is a motivated property. And all this means is the property's motivated, meaning it's run down, it's got a tarp on the roof, but the seller's not saying what I want them to hear. If you have a motivated property, you keep them in your database forever. Eventually, they're going to have to come with terms and selling at a realistic price.
Yeah.
And guys, just if you have a motivated seller and a motivated property, amazing things happen.
And most of these are probates. I've always explained it like a lot of these are probates. But so now we know who a motivated seller is. We got to understand this too, because the biggest myth I see with wholesaling, and this is something that's changed my mind a lot, coming from someone that used to cold call high equity leads hours and hours and hours and hours a day in a quote unquote saturated market. It's the quality of leads is as important, in my opinion, to the amount of time you spend on marketing. It's really like a multiplier, I really think. So it like used to 2 times 2 equals 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if, so you're spending 2 hours at, let's say, a 2 scale of quality of leads. That's 4, right? What if I could do 2 hours on an 8 scale? Like the amount of quality is an 8. That's 16.
Mm-hmm.
That is 4 times the amount of output you'll get with the same amount of time marketing. And this is why I really want to focus on this, is because a lot of people who struggle in marketing, maybe they have a 9-to-5 job, maybe they're virtual. Like, it's like, oh, Zach, easy for you to say. I don't have 9 hours a day and all this money for a VA to go cold call for me. Well, here's the cool part, John, Sally, Sue. You don't have to market 15 hours a day. I've told so many people this, but honestly, like, if you're starting out and you don't have time, I always tell, like, sleep 2 hours less. You will not die. I promise you, you will not die if you get 6 hours sleep. Now, I'm an 8 to 9er. 8-9 hours of sleep is like what I need.
I need 6.
You need. I know you need 6.
I need 6.
You get up at 4 a.m. to go fishing. So it's. Oh my gosh. How many hours you got to sleep last week when we went fishing? That was like, you got up at like 5, and then you did a lot, and then you fished, and you came back 12 hours later. You did a live. I know,
but you have those things like I could go. If I knew I was going fishing, I could stay up like 24 hours. I could work on real estate all day and go fishing. So
I've seen you do a live, go fishing all night, and then go in the morning fish again. The thing, but the reason what I'm saying is, if you get up 2 hours earlier, I know it's never fun, take a nap during the day, but like for someone who has 0 time, they say, use those 2 hours. I promise you, if you spend that 2 hours drawing for dollars, and then the next week you cold call that 2-hour drawing for dollars list, if you drive and cold call, let's say 2 hours on a Saturday and 2 hours on a Sunday, in about 6 months, it's almost impossible not to get a deal.
Yeah.
Honestly,
We all get the same amount of time. Like God
Yeah.
gives Zach, me, and you the exact same amount of time. It really comes down to people's priorities. Like when people say, oh, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to eat right. I don't have time to do this.
I don't have the money.
I don't have time to do cold call. Well, you're right. Like if you're 100% right. If you're going to convince yourself that, that's it. You got to kind of look at a schedule. I'm not like I don't schedule every 15 minutes of my day. I like to do 1 hour, hour and a half, 2 hour blocks. And then I leave myself a gap because stuff comes up. I don't have little rugrats running around. I got bigger ones now, but stuff comes up, And so like people who do every hour on the hour, it just gets where you're overwhelmed. Like you're still up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning trying to finish your previous day. So just set time blocks. Let's face it. You guys work 8-10 hour days. How many hours are you actually really working? I did it. It's like 2, maybe 3 hours at the most you're productive.
I get it.
And then you're getting everything done at like the end of the week. And then Monday, Tuesdays, like everyone's just kind of like sitting at the water cooler.
And then, we have a large percentage of people watching with 9-to-5s or like truck drivers or something because they get to listen to content that we have. And that's someone like, I feel for you. Like you're not really out of one place. Maybe you come back, but the thing is, there's still ways around it. Like virtual wholesaling, you got a lot of off time, like not a lot, but like you do have off time. So there's ways around it. But what he tells you is the quality of leads is going to be really important. This is a factor that I have to stress home. So it's the 2 times 2 versus 2 times 8. And let's say you see that 4 times difference. What's that 4 times difference going to be every week for a year straight? It's insane. Like you add up the difference. And that's the difference between a 7-figure wholesaler, a 6-figure wholesaler, and then the 8-figure wholesaler, right?
Yeah.
It's delegation and scaling went from like 7 to 8. But the thing is, you could be working less and getting better results. And I know it seems like a pipe dream, it looks like we're doing a webinar here trying to sell you on something. But like the truth is, it's possible. And it's because you have to have better quality of leads. And every single time, the reason why I bring this up and I'm focusing on so hard is, we have people hop on. We do the one-on-ones today, right? Every single time, it's usually like, "Oh, I can't get good leads. I can't." I ask every single person that's "quote unquote" beginning or struggling, "Hey, I'm going to put someone's foot to the fire today." It's like, have you pulled the fire damage property lead list in your county? I've rarely gotten someone that says yes. I can see people comment that they get it. Have you cold called 5 firehouses in your county and asked for the fire damage? It's always a no. Is it because it's hard to do? No. Call the fire property and ask. Bonus points. I've always said this. It's like you bring a box of donuts to the front firehouse person and ask.
You bring me donuts. It's
but like the fire department's not like, oh my gosh, I don't want this person knowing their house went on fire. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a secret list. Like it's just no one ever does that. But that's the thing. It's like, I can hammer it every week. I can see the same thing. People still don't do it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm only reaching out to the 5% of people watching this right now. They're actually going to do it.
Yeah. You guys, you got to put the work in. So like we always hear in wholesaling, quantity. Well, I'm here to tell you there's companies, small companies, they pretend to be big. They tell you they're calling, 30, 50,000 leads in a month. Okay, I want you guys to understand what that entails to do numbers like that. The amount of money and human energy power it takes to do that, I don't know what kind of return they're getting. I will tell you, in wholesaling, you will always do better on quality over quantity. If you could put quality with quantity, oh my gosh.
It's the multiplication thing, right?
So I'm just telling you guys, I don't chase down 50,000 leads. It's exhausting. I did it for years. And the most important thing is how much freedom time you get for you and your family. And number 2, how much money do you make doing it? And there's always going to be a balance there. And some people, when they're young, they go in hard, they close their eyes. You just don't want to turn around and be like 20 years later and go, man, I was so busy building a business. I didn't make a life. And I'm here to tell you, the beauty of wholesaling is you can do whatever you want. Like I wanted it really just for freedom. So financial freedom and freedom of time. And I've engineered everything I do around that. So if I want to go out fishing, I want to spend time with family, I want to spend time with friends. with Zach, I do it. And just understanding it, you can do it however you want, but like 50,000 leads requires a tremendous amount of manpower, and then plus the cost to buy the leads, sort the leads, skip trace the leads. So if somebody ever tells you, oh, we're doing 50,000 leads a month, how much are you spending and processing on average every month to do it? Because like people ask me, hey, Rick, what % of your money do you spend on marketing? You probably don't want my number because I'm really good at this. I find a lot of these companies spend anywhere from 15, I've seen as high as 25, even 30%. I'm nowhere even close to it, guys. To me, you're just giving money away. So I like to be under 10, but you should never, ever, in my opinion, spend more than 15% in wholesaling on your marketing, because it just doesn't work. I've done the numbers. I've done it so many times.
And I've talked to so many successful wholesalers, things like that. Well, this is a beginner's video, so I won't get into it too much, but there's a point where it's like you hit a certain amount of money or revenue in your business. And it's like, do you really want to, you can double it, but you're going to work 90 hours a week. Like, it's a difference. But quality of leads is going to be super important. We cannot stress this enough. Get going on the quality of your leads. It will be a game changer. And
I'd rather spend more money on quality of leads than quantity, because quantity, you just burn people. Like, this is how you burn people out. Oh, by the way, Mr. Cold Call, you got to make 10,000 cold calls today.
It's crazy.
10,000, and I've seen people push it.
You're going to
How
quit.
can you have a quality conversation when you start talking about that? So what do you get to 200-300 an hour if you're lucky? Like, you get like a 10% pickup rate. It's just going to be, the numbers get astronomical, and you're like, oh my God, how are we going to keep this pace?
That's you're going to quit. That's the reason why I'm really preaching quality this year, because things are getting more saturated, obviously. And the thing is, somebody who just does a constant list every single month for, let's say, 2 years straight, and they're only doing it 4 hours a week, they're going to consistently still do it though, versus the one that does 100 hours for 4 weeks and then quits. I don't need to burn out. Like, really, this business is not, this sounds arrogant every time I say it, but like, you can make $100,000 per year working 10 to 15 hours a week and by yourself solo. Like, if you do your numbers right.
But don't you think quantity is like so oversold in today's like wholesaling, lingos? It's just, guys, do you understand when you start talking big quantities numbers, there's a huge cost with this. And like, you have to run through this data, and then you have to push people to their absolute limit. And then what happens when you push people on quantity, they try so hard, you start doing deals where you probably should have never been doing deal. We do deals with huge spreads because I'd rather do one deal that made me $40,000 or $50,000 than try to do 10 deals that made me $3 to $5 grand. It's just, to me, it's just easier. And so, you ever heard the argument? It's easier to take $1 from 100 people than to take $100 from one person. Yeah. I disagree completely with it. To me, it's easier to take $100 from one person than, because remember, out of those 100, someone's not going to give you $1. And it's going to perpetuate.
But to a point though, you have to remember but if you look at like wholesaling, it's like, is it easier doing one $40,000 deal or 41,000 deals?
You know my answer to that.
One $40,000 deal is easier. Like, if I do one deal and it's a 40,000, I could probably squeeze an extra 10K out of each one if I push hard on it. Versus me trying to do those scrimpy little $1,000 deals. They stink.
Guys, we kick deals all the time just because we don't I could make $5,000, $10,000 on almost any deal. And some we just kick to the curb. Like when we're having problems with the sellers, they're being difficult with our acquisitions, but let's go find somebody who wants to work with us. That's the beauty of wholesaling. You get to pick who you work with.
Yeah. So you got to work smarter, not harder, guys. And this is why I have to say is part-time wholesalers sometimes destroy full-time wholesalers because of the quality. Mm-hmm. And this is what I really want to break down, because there's a big grind myth, I think, for wholesaling real estate. Like grind. What I have seen with wholesaling, if you just generally, you look out in entrepreneurs and like business people, that whole grind mentality, it'll get you to 0 to 100,000. But like, you don't have to grind to make 6 figures in wholesaling. And you get the whole work-life balance thing. I get it. Trust me. But the thing is, that whole grind thing, you're not supposed to be grinding this business for 5, 10, 15 years. No, you grind for a year or two.
I grinded too long for the
like, yeah, but you can grind 1-2 years. And I mean, 2 years, it gets annoying. But like, I could have grinded 40 years. But the thing is, once you get grinding on it, like you start learning the systems and then you can really delegate it or make your marketing a lot easier. So that's the big myth I see, is like, you have to, the only be successful is grinding.
Well,
You don't have to.
I think if you're aspiring wholesaler and you want to get started, you hear the word grind and hustle a lot. They're valuable words when you get started. Don't get me wrong. It just means you're attentive and you'll push through any wall. But I'm telling you, we talk about burnout with quantity. Eventually, you will have to shift and operate more of a business, because the grind and hustle, it will tire you out in the long run.
But even when you're starting out, like your first, let's say from your first deal to your third deal, you're working a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours were you dedicating, honestly, to marketing and like wholesaling? You're working 50, 60 hours a week.
I did a minimum 2 to 3 hours a day.
So for 7 days, right?
Yeah.
That's
6,
20
7
hours
days a week.
People think you have to be working 12 hours a day like Elon Musk. Like,
No,
it's 20. I was worse because I had bandit signs. It was cheating to a point, but like it was 5 to 6 for me a week starting out. And then eventually you get better at it. You start working, but you make more money. Like, I think that's a big myth people thinking. Like, you're watching this like, oh, Zach's getting me jacked up today. I watched the video. I'm going to go work 40 hours. You're going to quit. You work 60, 70 hours a week for a month straight. A lot of people, it's not mentally good for you. Like, if you're not, you and me are weird people. We're like, we can work.
You're weird.
I'm weird. I can work 100 hours a week with a smile on my face, ready to go for the next one. If I take an entire Sunday off, I get crazy. I'm like, I got to start working again.
Yeah.
Like, some people are wired differently. So when you see me talking about like, hey, I can't get any deals, and I tell you, hey, suck it up and work harder.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people might think that like, oh, that means I have to work harder. You know, it's like, you don't have to be grinding all the time, because I hate, the worst part of seeing wholesaling is that person that like, you saw those pictures of people like digging it and then like they're so close to that goal, but they just finally quit. I hate to see those. So many wholesalers, you know, they do all this, they learn everything. They get so close to that first deal and then they just quit. Now, if you just slowly did it, you know, if you have a hole to dig and you dig like 30 minutes every day versus trying to do 8 hours one day and then quitting for the full year, that's the difference I see. So guys, there's a grind myth for marketing. Everyone has their own pace for their own success and they're getting their first deal. Don't feel like you have to. Like, do it because you want to. But so what is the secret list? Like what your marketing, what is the goal? And
you should use the word secret.
It's a secret. It's a secret list because I feel like
secret.
Here's the people think that there's a secret specialist that's going to solve everything for you. Here's the issue. Everyone preaches about doing a high equity list, like there's general lists. That's where most people struggle. You said this yesterday for the saturated markets.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's saturated because you're doing the list that everyone else is doing. Heck, if you go to a non-saturated market and you just do a regular list, you're not going to get the good results. Like it's a multiplier. Like if your market is a 3 times 2 versus a 2 times 2, that's good. But if you do a 2 times 6, that's better than any good market. So like a really good niche list in a saturated market is going to do better than a regular list in a really good market. And I've seen it all the time. Now, if you do a niche list in a really good market, oh my gosh, it's lights out.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of the key here. We're going to talk about niche lists, and our channel doesn't have 1 million people on it. So like when we talk about this, the cool part is not like, if you look at the entire wholesaling real estate industry, a good portion follow us, but like not everyone. The cool part is the people following us get to learn this stuff when like no one else really talks about it. And that's what makes it niche. So what are these lists? I cannot preach this enough. It's the government lists. These are going to be the lists when you're like, this is for beginners, right? This is the secret. Like for a beginner, if you want to start becoming successful, you pull government lists. Code violations, water shutoffs. So code violations like that tall grass, water shutoffs. People are getting their water shut off. Shout out to my California people that have been DMing me like crazy. They're not shutting off water in California. So like you're trying to pull that water shutoff list. They're not even shutting off water. So like it's not a good one, you know.
They don't even have any water there.
True. Okay. You got it.
I think the whole West Coast is running
Uh,
dry from a documentary I just saw,
Oh
but
my
I
gosh.
don't know if it's true,
Fire.
guys keep damming up water that doesn't belong there. It's not supposed to be water in Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Next here's the fire damage property list. Kind of went over that before. Probates. I can't even say this enough. Like, unfortunately, the fact of life is if there's life, there's going to be death, and it's everywhere. Like,
Yeah, probate's never changing, guys. It's not going to be one of these.
I don't
like,
look like
sexy
this-
list.
yeah.
It's always there. Maybe how you get them with like new technologies. That's about the only thing we'll change.
I hate saying this, but like that probate, that's a list that just
Keeps
it's a
growing.
unit. It's not growing, but like it's a list that's it's every month it's going to be there.
Yep.
You know, like you look at one of those government clocks or those clocks that show births and deaths. It's like it's spinning like crazy. And like your mind's like, oh my gosh, look at all these people being born. Look at all these people dying. It's like that list like is always going to be there. The list of people that have their properties, like you know, firefighters. I know firefighters. They're always working. Like there's always fires going on. Like it's just human beings. Like properties go on fire. So the fire damage property list is there.
And guys, a little hint on these government lists. Since our, I'm not even going to use the word. Since our incident, 2020 with our
The panoramic.
panoramic, is if you, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a courthouse. I mean, they
talking
literally.
photography.
Do you know the amount of criminal and civil cases? They are so backed up right now. It's absolutely mind blowing. Plus, I had a county almost for 6 months, no probates. How can that be?
It was crazy.
No, it's not that nobody died. It's
you go to your local go to your local news station. They got the counter right there showing how many probates are going on.
So
like
if you noticed, foreclosures almost came non-existence. Divorces cut down. Evictions, you guys know how that happened. And then we talked about probates. Like they stopped processing them for a while. And so as you're seeing, as things come back online here, your government lists are going to be more important than ever because they are going to get saturated, meaning they've got a backlog of probably 2 years. And so you're going to see your probate list, your eviction list, your divorce list, your foreclosure, pre-foreclosure list. They're all going to massively expand from what you've seen in the last 2 years. I'm telling you guys, it's coming. It doesn't matter what state you're in. Everybody's backed up. So this is the time to really figure out how to get a hold of these lists. Go to freewholesaling.com. We show you how to walk through it, how to pull these lists and do everything. So,
yeah. So let me go to the next one here. Pre-foreclosures. People are just, if they're issuing mortgages, there's going to be people behind on it.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a fact of life, right? Your lien lists, people behind on taxes, IRS debt lien lists, it's going to be there. Not a government list, but I'd say driving for dollars. Very good list. It's a pretty good list. I'm telling you.
It's because it's your own list.
People complain about the prices of gas. I'll tell you this. Now, this isn't me trying to brag about ourselves or brag about you, but remember you were running like 13 miles a day or something crazy. I remember that 2020.
Bored.
I was training for a marathon. I know a lot of people complain about like driving for dollars. I'm like, I was running 14, 15 hours a day, like 15 miles a day. It's like,
that's terrible.
Get into running if you don't want to pay for driving for dollars. Just start running around. Like
go for a long walk.
Go for a long walk. It's
you get the best of both worlds.
Bike for $1. Like how much does a bike cost? Like I know it costs some money, but like those electric scooters that they're selling right now, like $400 or $500.
Yeah,
you can go like 20 miles. Like
there's a cost to everything.
Go bike for dollars. If you're complaining about gas prices, go e-scooter for dollars.
Should I call an Uber to do driving for dollars? Or
have you seen the cost of an Uber? Oh my gosh.
It's just like a regular taxi now.
It's probably worse sometimes.
At least the taxi driver can't try to factor in the weather and try to stick it to you when it's raining.
Well, at least the taxi driver doesn't have to give me a star rating,
It's ridiculous.
But what I'm telling you right now is it's getting ridiculous out there. Then you got your paid lists. I have to say it in a marketing video, you can pay for your list. This is kind of a higher play strategy, I would say. A lot of people do it. Obviously, the vacant lists are really good, high equities, but like if you got to pay, like if you're broke, you got no money, I would not be paying for a list. Now we always say, hey, use PropStream, use ZachData.com, ListArray.com. But like if you can't afford it, don't do it. Like that's a tool to get more leads.
Yeah.
Tool for comping. It's a guy driving for dollars app in there.
Guys, I'll tell you this. So I've dealt with paid lists my entire 20 years.
Yeah.
Before we had ListREI.com, Zach Data, all these wonderful, wonderful software companies, you had to take like some calculated risk. I took a lot of risks, and I'm here to tell you, with the tools and technologies between those two services, PropStream and Batch, do not pay a third party to pull this stuff for you, because you have no idea what kind of data they're giving
Like
you.
Fiverr.
It makes no sense. Don't let someone else, because most of the time, if you have a VA on Fiverr or Upwork and they say, hey, I can get you this, the reality is they're going into their investor software and they're stealing that data and giving it to you. So you don't want to do business that way. And why not just pull the data yourself? It's so inexpensive to do it yourself. And honestly, you'll save hundreds of dollars just by using reilist.com, because it's all there. You get 10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, use the 10,000 until you start maxing those out. Then you can add other services. Do not buy from third parties, especially on social media, Facebook, stuff like that, because they're going to try to take as much money as out of your pocket. And you have no idea where they pulled this list, how old it is, where's the data. And at least with the other sources, you know exactly where you're getting it from.
That's the thing. And they're technically all getting the list from the same place.
They're all coming from the same place. The question is it up-to-date information?
Yeah.
And is this a trustworthy source that I can pull it from?
That's the thing. So guys, do your own research on it. Like use whatever service you want. Like at the end of the day, we really don't care. But the thing I hear people say, oh, this Fiverr guy from, from this crazy country from like, Azerbaijan, this Fiverr guy says he'll get me 1 million lists for $5. And then you go complain to me that like the list isn't good. It's just,
yeah, guys, you can't listen. If you buy a list and you're not confident, you know where it's coming from. Remember, all your marketing, if you're doing cold calls, SMS, direct mail, heck, even door knocking, if you got the wrong list, you're really going to waste a lot of money and resources. So
that's the thing.
You have to have the most the most confidence in your list. Your list is everything, because if the list is bad, everything's bad.
Yeah.
So please do never buy a list just based on price either. Oh, a guy's offering me 100,000 leads for $5.
Well, people ask, Zach, why do you talk about PropStream or Batch? What about,
blank?
No, like, why don't you talk about blank service? There's all these other services. I've heard of Propelio, Property Radar.
Guys, I've tried them all. Here's the deal with I'm not taking I don't take any coaching fees from you guys. I'm here to tell you the truth, what works in our business.
Well, here's the thing.
If you want to take it, great. If you want to save yourself a lot of aggravation, just copy what we do. If you want to go out and try all these services, knock yourself out, because you will constantly keep doubting yourself, and then you're going to have like 10 different services.
When we send 20,000 mailers out, there's 100% chance we pulled it from Batch or we pulled it from PropStream.
Correct. End of story.
We used to do lists. I will say this. We used to pull lists from CoreLogic list source. I ain't paying 3 cents a record on 100,000 records every month, but like,
guys, I've tried them all. I've tried Listability. I've tried Melissa Data. Like I could go till the sky goes in.
Gosh, Melissa Data. Yeah.
I'm just telling you, for what we do for wholesaling, the stuff's already laid out for you. And honestly, I've tried it all, guys. Hundreds and hundreds, if not millions of dollars I've spent. I've done the legwork. And honestly, I would not recommend something I would not pay for, or I currently don't pay for myself.
But I'll tell you this. For like, let's say our direct mail, we could use list source for a direct mail. It would probably cost us 10, 15K a year to because you got to revamp the list every single time. PropStream, it's going to cost us like 1,000, and it's basically the same data. So the reason why we're saying PropStream over list source in that, because it's the same results and you save $9,000 a year. And like, that's a VA basically. And you get like a Driving for Dollars app, Blue Hammer. I don't know why people don't. Blue Hammer, you can literally estimate any property on there. And you could also create your own website. You know, PropStream lets you have your own website.
Yeah, it's got amazing tools in
The
there.
tutorials are on freewholesaling.com.
And plus, we split tested with ListSource, PropStream, and Batch.
Batch
and
and PropStream are pretty much.
We actually did better, and we saved money
on those.
And that's why we recommend it. I've tried all these other services, guys. I've tried it all, and there's a reason that the best tend to rise to the top. These companies are very good at getting their data, and they're very attentive to investors' needs. And that's where ListSource was missing the boat, because it was 100% tailored towards realtors and mortgage brokers. So somebody came in and filled a market, and it was specifically for investors looking for motivated sellers. And that's why PropStream and Batch have done so well. Everyone says, like, well, why don't you just pick one? We use both because we're constantly looking for the best data possible.
To a point, some websites are better. So I'll say this and then we can get out of it. But like, Batch has superior skip tracing, and PropStream doesn't even have SMS, and PropStream has that drawing for dollars. And I like some of the PropStream data a little more, like that zombie house flip, zombie house list. You get the pre-probates. Like, we're at a financial position where we can pay for both. Cash buyers, I found you can get really nitty gritty on Batch, which you can't on PropStream when it comes to buyers, which I really like. So guys, it's a yin and a yang.
And guys, you can still use ListSource for free and run the same filters or close enough, and you can check like your pull numbers and see if it matches up. We still do that to this day just to kind of make sure. But what happens is, the reality of human beings is we get really comfortable using one service.
Yeah.
Like if you ever used like Google Chrome forever and then you switch.
Well, that was your thing. You were like, oh, Zach, because I kept telling you, like, everyone keeps talking about PropStream, like all these like 7-figure, like, because I was doing the podcast. I started out like 2 years ago. I'm like, they all say they use PropStream. And you know what you told me? Like, yeah, but you can't do the polygon draw feature on it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, look. And you're like, oh. And then you're like, oh, okay. Like, but you're used to that. But that helped you because you get rid of the bad neighborhoods.
Yeah, but I will tell you what happens. You start using it, you get very confident in it. You're like, I'm very confident in this list. And whenever you switch to another list, there's always that seed of doubt in the back of your mind, and it'll drive most wholesalers nuts. So any type of switch you do a little bit of like split testing, or make sure you're getting information from extremely reliable people that actually do wholesaling, because it's easy for someone to recommend it, especially if they're not even active in wholesaling. So guys, make sure whoever you take advice from is active and doing deals and like is constantly up on their game, because so much of wholesaling stays the same, but so much changes. And I know that's a terrible statement to make.
I know, but like, guys, we're going to hold your hand on the entire thing. We're ready to share with you. So that's the truth. And it's like, and then at the end of the day, it's like, what type of marketing channels you're starting out? Cold calling is probably going to be the one you have to do. SMS if you got some money and like you're busier, and then disruptive marketing. These are going to be like door knocking, bandit signs, reverse drawing for dollars. Guys, there's so many marketing channels to be doing. I have to like, all I have to say is like, we're 48 minutes into this. So like, you and me, we could do a 10-hour marketing marathon. We can do that.
Yeah.
I can go into 2 hours in each one. I do a 4-hour cold calling thing but go to freewholesaling.com. I'm telling you, we seem like crazy people talking for hours and hours about wholesaling on these lives. But like, if you want like a 15-minute condensed version of everything we talk about, like the ultimate like virtual wholesaling guide, like they're all in modules at freewholesaling.com. Our contracts, assignment of contracts. I saw Brandon. I know he was on here. He commented, I think, on the group that like he saw some like cash buyer try to steal the deal from a wholesale. Like, our assignment of contracts protects you with that. Guys, go to freewholesaling.com. That's where it's all at. And that's what I have to say. Like that is how you actually get successful on here. And one last thing before we get in the one-on-ones is I did see this, so I'll explain this. We got some fear coming out in the market. Frederick says, have you guys heard about the new law in California basically banning house flipping? Now, Frederick, I saw that comment. I remember reading about that earlier today. I want to break this. I want to, like, since we go live all the time, I want to break this because there's going to be a video out there talking about how, it's going to get banned in California and you should
One
freak out.
video, it's going to be endless.
There's going to be endless. So let me just,
People need content.
first of all, you can't ban buying and selling a piece of property, but you could do crazy laws. California is a very regulatory state, if I could say that the nice way. So let's kind of break this down. It is not banned to wholesale in California, to flip houses in California. So let me break that. First of all, cash buyers, a lot of them are landlords. So like this is something that's not even going to affect that. But like, let's break down this article because I actually popped this up. This is from the California Globe. Bill to tax. Is that ban or I need to get my reading glasses? Is this ban wholesaling or taxing wholesale house flipping? Tax, right? And basically, all I could really say is in wholesaling real estate, in house flipping, a lot of people blame rising housing prices to investors, which is a big myth. It's a big myth, right? Like, but a lot of people attribute bigger housing prices to greedy corporations and like, you know, like, guys, it's the mom and pop person that is taking out a loan that they can't afford to overbid on a house. It's never the investor.
Yeah.
Investors never overpay on houses.
What the market allows. So,
but I'm telling you, because they're buying it cash, they're assuming the risk. But like, let me just break this down really quick because I see a lot of fear. This is going to be everywhere. You know that wholesaling is going to get banned. House flip. Literally, I saw the comment. Did you hear that California is going to ban it now? Frederick, I'm not making like we're not attacking you on this, but like, do you see how that comment can come out as fear, like maybe stoking fear?
I smell a few videos floating out there about California.
Here's the thing: we're not making fun of you, Frederick. Someone probably told you that.
No, Frederick, and now we're all.
But let's kind of read this really quick. First of all, it's not a law, but like let's read it. You know, a bill that would massively tax house flippers and speculators who buy and sell a house within 3 years has moved to the Assembly Committee on Revenue and Taxation. Now, buying and selling a house in 3 years, let me tell you that when you had like, how many houses have you bought and sold in 3 years when you weren't like flipping houses?
At least 10.
All the people move, right? Like it's like 3 years. Are you kidding me?
3 years is insane. That's a big number.
So this is a 25% tax on all net capital gain from the sale or exchange of homes or properties. Maybe reduced if a significant time has passed. Those qualified taxpayers who buy and sell a house within 3 years would need to pay that tax. All revenue from the tax would go to the Speculation Recapture Community Investment Fund. What?
Yeah.
The Speculation Recapture Community Reinvestment Fund. That was a lot. Okay. The bill, also known as the California Housing Speculation Act, would be in effect immediately as a tax levy for all taxable years beginning in 2023 as AB 177 will result in tax change. 2/3 of each house would need to approve for the passage. Now, 2/3 is a lot. I'm going to have to say this like really quick. It's like 3 years. I don't see this pat. It could pat. Let's kind of read this. Like,
first of all, 25%.
That's a lot of money, but like
that's obscene.
It's an obscene amount.
I mean, maybe if I was aggressive, I'd be maybe 10, 15%, but like 25 and then 3 years.
I know.
Here's my prediction. If this ever gets passed, you better get out of California as fast. Like they got their laws are so screwed up. This would literally kill the housing market.
Let's keep reading this. Like a lot of investors, like they help a lot of the bad. So let's keep reading this. So Assemblyman Ward wrote the bill to specifically target short-term investors who buy homes and other properties. What's the amount of investors buying houses versus regular people? Like it's an insanely tiny, like,
do it too.
Yeah, but where's the amount of investors, like the amount of house flippers versus regular buyers out there? It's so small.
I agree.
Like they're thinking like it's a big problem. Target short-term investors who buy homes and other properties, keep for some time, then sell for a profit. This includes house flippers who renovate properties to sell back, speculators who often outbid other buyers in the hopes that home prices rise significantly, and cash-only buyers. Speculators aren't outbidding. It never is like that. Speculators are the people that are moving to a new place, and the first-time home buyers are the biggest speculators of them all.
Yeah.
This is another quote. Speculators are taking gobs of tens of millions of dollars out of the community through the cumulative effect of all transactions. That's not fair for either because the people that are left struggling are buying to get outbid 30 times trying to get into their home.
I heard that word a lot in California. It's not fair.
It would be an
It's
addition.
not fair. Where do you think the tens of millions of dollars go with wholesalers? They hire people in their local community to help them out. They spend it on restaurants. They make investments in their communities. Listen, tens of millions of dollars, if a wholesaler's invested or an architect invested, it still gets invested in the community. It's kind of ridiculous. So
It's crazy. Like you keep looking at this, but like this is insane. And then he kind of keeps going. He says it's the basic myth we said that cash offers are driving house prices up. He cites the California Association of Realtors quarterly index, who found that California's median price is up 17% for the third quarter.
yeah, Florida's higher than that. So
Why record lows of 40% of Californians could meet home buying only 42% could beat home buying qualification standards. It says investor buyers account for 51% of all sales in Southern California. Now, I have to look at that number. Hedge funds are buying crazy, but it depends what you call an investor buyer. But 51%.
I mean, who's going to report you? Like, how does this work? What
Well,
happens if I lose money on the house?
Well, if you keep
Can I get,
reading,
like, a reverse credit.
While the bill has yet to receive significant support in the assembly, yet many investors and those in real estate have come out in opposition. I smell NAR going against this, like like there's a lot of
It's not good
realtors
for NAR on this one.
and NAR's the biggest lobby. Like I'm just telling you, so it's easily take 25% tax if passed. California doesn't even have a 25% state income tax, and like it's insane. It gets rid of mom and pop house flipping companies that renovate and generally smaller profits. You know, we got a real estate agent. Seriously though, the real solution is to build more homes and reduce vacation rentals. If you pass a law stopping all vacation rentals, which I don't agree with either, if passed AB 771, but the only number of houses investors get tax write-offs from mortgage interest, property taxes. They're talking about going after depreciation.
I'm telling you, this would drastically drop prices in California because nobody wanted, like, every property you have to buy would have to have a 3-year hold. That's absolutely nuts.
I could stand corrected here, but this is only moved to a committee. This isn't like it hasn't even gone to a vote. I'm telling you,
there's no way, guys, because this would affect regular homeowners and And the reality is, okay, so it's based on my gain.
Yeah. NAR's can eat their lunch.
I know. Why don't I just record a lien against it for all my repairs and we'll just call it a day?
It's crazy because
there's so many ways if you really want to get around this loophole. Like I've already got a million thoughts going in my head.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't have to do it, but I don't really invest in California.
We're not going to talk about it because this is kind of a pipe dream.
Yeah. So guys, what we want you to do is read the material. I appreciate Frederick bringing it up. I'm not picking on him.
We appreciate it.
But just like read the material and try to figure it out. And then we can have open discussions. But when people grab the headlines, like looking to ban flippers in California.
Do you see how the problem is? Like we hear it everywhere. It's like ban. It's like, no, it's going to tax. We heard, I'm not getting political, but like Bernie Sanders had this idea on one of his platforms, which we talked about that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like an idea that he brought out, which like wasn't really too popular, but like it's a myth that investors, people that are buying and selling real estate, that they're trying to ban, that they're the ones who are stopping prices from going up and down. Guys, it's insane everywhere. The truth is when you literally flood an insane amount of cash into an economy, people are going to spend that cash. It's supply and demand. You put all this cash in, prices are going to rise.
Yeah, right.
And when interest rates are 0%, it's like the thing is like I'll talk about this too. If you really want to stop housing prices going up, which you really don't, because most California citizens, they own real estate, right? You don't want real estate to go down, because that's most people's wealth building thing. So like you want it to keep going up. But the thing is, just build more affordable housing. And the zoning is so crazy in that state that that's stopping it. And that's the real, like we always talk bad about these legislations and the problems. Yeah. The solution is build affordable housing. No one wants to do it.
But keep in mind, there's a 17% increase. You don't hear any of the counties or anybody in the state of California complaining about the real estate taxes they're collecting on that money, which is insane. And if they do this, they will literally crush their tax base, and the state's already losing their butt. This would just make it like California is kind of an easy one. Like I'm just like whenever I hear like California
but,
and New
you
York,
know,
you're like you got to put your seatbelt on.
But
when it
here's the
comes
thing.
out.
We love demonizing NAR. I'm the first to say we love going after like, oh, we don't like NAR to a point, but at least NAR is going to like stand and be like, okay, come on. Like this is bad for the general investor. Like it's even if it's bad for NAR,
3 years,
it's not going to pass.
25% insane.
No, I would say the problem is I think 6 months you could do it. Fine. Do 6 months if you want, but like, I don't support this. What I'm just,
we don't want any of it.
now, this, I don't think, if it wouldn't even pass in California, I don't think it's going to pass anywhere around the country, but you should be aware that there are legislators in states that are thinking about this. And this will, if that passes, you have to admit, it will change the way real estate wholesaling is being done, right?
I don't have a lot of confidence in it.
But if that passed, cash buyers are going to be paying a lot less because they have to suck up a 25% fee on there. But there's ways around it, obviously.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, guys, don't be worrying about this bill. It's so insanely crazy that I don't think it's going to get a lot of
Don't
support.
worry.
And
Let's move on.
yeah, so guys, don't be worrying about that. It's not going to be banned. Don't be freaking about that. But like, this comes back to the last part here. Like,
That's why I would never. Listen, I think California is a beautiful state, but they got so many crazy laws on the books to begin with.
and here's the thing. So here's the last part about the video we want to break down before we start talking to people one-on-one. But it's like, what is the unlimited like lead hack? And here's the truth. You guys heard me talking about fire damage property lists, water shutoff lists, things like that, right? Probates. If you are, I love it when people say, I don't have enough leads. That's always a fun one. Just go virtual. Like, so if you are struggling, like you want to, like, let's say you come in, you say, Zach, I want to work 100 hours a week and I just want lists. I'm telling you right now, you pull every single probate list, every single fire damage property, and every single water shutoff list in your state, you're going to be full. And those are really niche lists. If you really want to go hard in the paint, I promise you, if you pull every water shutoff, probate, and fire damage property list in your state every single month, it's almost impossible not to get deals, especially when you do it virtual. So that's my unlimited hack. Oh, let's say you're doing all in your state. Go to the next state. Do Texas, then do Mississippi, do Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, New York. Like it's unlimited.
And just reverse engineer. They go, well, Zach and Rick, what market do I start on? Well,
your own.
Well, start on your own. But if you're going to pick a virtual market, I already tell you, just pick a wholesaler that likes to brag a lot on the internet and just find out the zip codes he's getting deals and the addresses.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, without spending one dime in your pocket, they will point you in the right direction every time. Every one of my virtual markets is basically from taking somebody else's data and reverse engineering it. Why do I want to go spend my hard-earned money and try to figure out if Virginia works, if Texas works, if Wisconsin works? The reality is, if you want to do that, the work's there. You can also go to listrei.com. You can use the heat map. You can look where the cash buyers are. Heck, you can use ListSource. There's plenty of free services to do it. Guys, it's never a question of the amount of leads. The question is, can you work the leads and consistently keep producing?
And I'm going to say one thing. All right, first of all, let's give a hat off to Steven, because Steven is always on here. He's always providing support and he's doing deals. So shout out to Steven. Thank you so much for the support. I would say that I will argue with Steven one thing. Generally, it is agreed. Don't go to Florida. It's never a fun market to do.
It's
a tough one
to say, right?
But here's the thing. A lot of people think Florida. This is a kind of like because we live in like South Florida. You're kind of in Tampa. So like when you think of Florida, you only think of South Florida, Tampa, Orlando, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, an untapped market. Like most people think of Florida, that's all they think of Florida. If you go Orlando north to the Panhandle, the Panhandle is basically South Alabama to a point.
Really Florida,
but it is technically the state of Florida. Those areas are ripe.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, like outside of Gainesville, Ocala, Panhandle, those are amazing markets to be going after. I'm telling you right now. So I know when someone says don't do Florida, I will have to admit, when you go north of Orlando, Crystal River, like those are great markets. They have to have enough cash buyers, but I'm just telling you right now, not all of Florida is bad.
But guys, always do your local market.
Pensacola, yes.
I don't care if you're in California, New York, Florida. You only need 1 or 2 deals to make a monster profit. So you already know it. And then if you're already learning wholesaling, just don't shut your eyes to your own market. Maybe you just like word of mouth. Maybe you just get it from referrals. But I'm just telling you, you're doing a disservice if you do not do your own local market, because sometimes you go fishing in other waters and the fish is swimming right next to you. And you got to snag it on that hook and fry it up.
Yeah, easy for you. Well, last week you fished for like 2 hours last week. And like, what did you get? You got
We got 2 out of 3 sailfish,
2 sailfish,
2 large tuna,
blackfin tuna.
how
many mahi?
I got a dozen dolphin too.
Yeah, you guys
They weren't as big as the one
mahi.
the week before.
No, oh my god, people went crazy when they
That was
saw
a big
that.
boy.
I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, we got to post that. But like, so you're used to fishing in your market. It's so easy there. But can you imagine the fish?
I got it on the screen. You can show the big fish versus the small fish argument.
Oh my gosh. But that's the truth. So let's talk about, we got the people one-on-one. We always get asked every time, Zach, how do I join these one-on-ones? You know? And the truth is, all you got to do, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. Honestly, at this point, you really got to search wholesaling on Facebook and like the group pops up like top. But like, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. Let's go share the screen really quick. How to talk to us one-on-one. It's really like, everyone thinks like, oh my gosh, those people who talk to you, they're so lucky. They're not lucky. They just joined the mastermind, which is a free mastermind. Look,
take action.
look, Wholesaling Houses for Real, 3 hours ago on the top right here on the pin featured, right? You click that, you can join me one-on-one for free. Sure, my people said 5:30, 6:15, but we'll get to everyone. Right there, you just click on there, right? Just join the group. You're good to go. Guys, everyone watching, who do we got on here? Give me a second. We have, I think we have a good amount watching in the group. If you're watching in the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group, do me a favor, click that, go to that invite like 15 people, you know, just keep inviting people, make the group bigger. But like, that's what it is. So let's talk to people. There you go. Let's talk to people and help the people out, learn wholesaling real estate the right way. So without further ado, we got Mr. Pensacola in the house.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
It's all
You're
good.
from
Good to meet
Pensacola,
you.
right?
Yes, sir.
I remember him.
Sick.
Got it. All right. What's up, bro?
Photograph.
It's all good. It's all good. I've been watching your lives now for probably a few weeks, maybe now. Started following y'all like about a month and a half, 2 months, maybe.
Awesome,
And
man.
you know, learning as much as I can.
Awesome.
I got a few questions for you, if that's okay.
Ready to
Sure.
answer it.
All right. So I actually asked this a bunch of times on other lives, and y'all didn't have time to answer, which is totally fine. I totally get it. A bunch of people here.
You're on here one-on-one, man. We can't run
awesome.
away.
Awesome. So title exemptions. So I have a list of code violations right now. So it's around like 200 and something here in Escambia County. So that's what I got, open code violations. And I'm just curious, because I went to title companies to talk to them. And so I'm just curious, how do title exemptions work with code violation lists? Like, what does that exactly mean? Like, I don't know what that, you know what I mean?
You want me to do this one?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
So you're talking about title exemptions, correct? From your title company?
Yeah, like,
Okay.
mhm.
So here's how title works. I'm going to give you the layman's terms because I got to tell you in the beginning, title companies used to talk over my head. And you know what I said at the end? What do I need to do to get this deal done? What do I need to tell the buyer or the seller? And so you got to break it down with your title company. Understanding when you buy properties off of a code violation list, which one of my favorite, they come with issues. And for the most part, the homeowner doesn't either know how to fix it, or they don't want to fix it, or it's a financial issue. And
Okay.
you got to so once you go on a code list, it's your job as the homeowner to take them off the code list. And you have to go through a format to do it. Let me give you an example. I had a little old lady, her husband passed away. The lawn got out of control. She moved out. She didn't realize an issue. She got a notice. She sent her landscaper over there. He cut it, and he maintained the lawn for 5 years after that.
Okay.
She went to go sell it to me. She had a $46,000 lien on the house for one lawn growing out of control. It's a ridiculous thing. Most code violations are set up after you do not take it off the list. They can charge you anywhere from $50 to $150 per day, up to like $50,000. It's obscene. Most places are pretty realistic. So here's what happens as wholesalers. We want to move properties as fast as possible. A lot of times to stand in front of what they call a magistrate, you basically stand in front of the board of commissioners and tell them why they need to waive this or reduce the fee. It can take months sometimes to get that done. And you have to do it with the homeowner. The homeowner doesn't want to deal with it. They said, hey, you told me, Rick, you were just going to buy the property as is. So one of the ways we do it, some of them are like stupid, like the wrong door, there's a screen in wrong, or you painted the house the wrong color, is you can actually still buy the house, move it over to your cash buyer via assignment, and then they write what they call a title exemption, which means the buyer is taking the property with the current issue and all parties are aware of it and they agree to work with the city to rectify it. Usually the new buyer in most average cities gets 90 days to rectify the issue.
Okay.
Let's face it, most of the people we're selling to, they're renovating the whole house anyways, and they want to fix the problem. Some buyers are freaked out about that. They don't want to deal with it at all. The problem is if you wait to fix it, it costs you time. I have a property waiting up to a year right now to fix an issue. I can't get anyone to get around. It's a big deal. But like when it's minor stuff, like the mailbox, maybe it's a landscaping issue. We just did one. Remember I told you, like, we had a code violation come up for a freaking palm tree. It got too bushy right before the closing.
Okay.
I go, dude, deal with it. Most cash buyers go, okay, as long as I know what I'm getting with it, I'll write that exemption. A lot of title companies, they don't want to write exemptions because they don't want to be on the hook for anything. So it's got to be minor. If it's major, you're probably better off just dealing with it. But like the minor stuff, like a palm tree, really, or like, is it this or that? So you can ask to write a title exemption. You can write anything you want out of title. Remember, the more you write out of it, the riskier it is for the new owner. And remember, you're trying to transfer a property that has clear title. So code violations are the perfect avenue for this. You're never going to get around IRS liens and stuff like that. But like code violations, and by the way, in like my state, when you buy a property, it's got a code violation.
His state too.
Yeah. When there's a new owner, you automatically, I think, get a 60-day reset anyways. Like they're like, okay, let's see if he or she will fix it. So title exemption is normal. Some buyers are perfectly okay with it and some of them freak out and go, listen, I don't have time to deal with this.
They'll definitely like it's there. They'll take care of it. Is that right or no?
Well, they have to agree to it. So the main thing is the title company just wants to disclose it to all parties to make sure everyone's okay with it. So it's up to you to have that conversation with your buyer and then find out what your seller. If the seller doesn't want to go to the magistrate and they don't want to deal with any of it, you're going to have to write a title exemption. Otherwise, you're going to be under contract forever. And you're never, the worst thing as a wholesaler is sitting under contract forever on a good deal. First, like I've watched $500 tie up a deal for 2 years. So like, what's your time worth? They're like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. Now, if you can try to rectify it real quick, sometimes we'll go out and send somebody to cut a tree, mow a lawn. We'll call the guy to go out and inspect it, stop the pain, and then we just negotiate the final settlement with the city. Sometimes the homeowner goes, I don't want to deal with it all. Just like figure out what the number is. It gets crazy. But I've knocked $100,000 off of a code violation lien before, like some crazy, crazy numbers. So a title exemption is just a creative way for us wholesalers to move with speed. The key is your seller has to be okay with it. If they freak out, remember, the more problems you're selling, probably the deeper discount you're selling it for anyways, right?
Yeah, for sure. So
like sanitary issues, stuff like that. We get hoarders houses all the time like that. We go straight to title exemption.
Okay. So got to find the right buyer for it. I understand. And if it's too big, then okay. That's good. So I pulled 1 month's worth of code violations. Is that enough? Should I be pulling like 6 months worth? I just pulled January of this year, and it's only like 200 and something of open code violations.
Pull it every single month. Just do every month from now.
Okay.
You're going to see a lot of repetition on it. You're looking for new ones that pop up. So remember, speed kills in wholesaling.
Yeah.
So the quicker you can get to those fresh new leads, but about 80% of them are probably going to be the same on that list. You're looking for that 20% difference.
I agree.
I see.
So you can run filters and stuff like that with it.
Okay, for sure. And when y'all mean quality, do y'all mean niche lists? I mean,
Yep.
is that-
Niche lists.
that's what it means.
The more
Okay.
niche you get, the more quality you're
Yeah.
going to get. The more general you get, the more it's going to be about quantity. And unfortunately, quantity takes money and a staff to really work through it, and time.
Okay. And last thing, this isn't really much about like the theory. This is most like mindset. I comment this all the time, but now having y'all in person, it's like really good to have it reaffirmed to me. Is like is this possible? Like I went to my local RIA's I went to the meeting the other day. I commented, and I think Zach, you actually said like, hey, find cash buyers, network, all this and the other.
Yep.
And so I'm just like asking like, and I know the answer, but I just want to reaffirm, like, can I actually do this? Like, can me personally, like, you know what I
Fernando,
mean?
how old are you?
22, 1999.
22. I did this when I was 17 in Florida. So you're 22. You're fine.
Yeah.
I didn't start till I was 33, Fernando.
You don't need permission, but I'm giving you permission to make money. That's what
Okay,
you need, man. Dude, you got this.
Yeah, remember, you can always go back to your old life, Fernando. It will sit there and wait
Fernando,
for you.
here's the worst thing someone's going to say to you in an appointment or a cash buyer. Ready? Fernando, you look really young.
Okay.
Now it's up to you of what you say when someone tells you that. That's the only thing that's going to mentally stop you, in my opinion.
They don't say that to me.
I think I heard you say once, Zach, say on a video, it was like, is my age gonna affect me buying this house from you? Right? You said
That's
that once.
it. Yeah. And that's all you can really say, and just say, hey, I can grow a mustache better than you.
Yeah.
And honestly, you will offend a lot of people who can't grow a good mustache like you. So to the point, man, it's like, hey, will this affect me buying your property today? Me and my partner's buying your property today. No. Cash buyer, will this affect me giving you a contract? Will this affect me?
Mm-hmm.
No, it won't. And that's all. Like, seriously, that's the only thing someone can say to try to trip you or stop you. Dude, you're a legal adult. You're good to go, man.
And your youth just make up for it in enthusiasm, dude.
How many young people did really well? Like what? Mark Zuckerberg, how old was he when he started Facebook? Made that millions of dollars. Like, guys, it doesn't matter your age. Like, it seriously doesn't.
It's
You're good to go,
if
man.
you're 90 or 10 doing this business.
No, and I saw the 16-year-old who did his first wholesaling deal on the Facebook group, and I'm like, Jesus, man, if he can do it.
Yeah, Shri got it.
Dude, I didn't start till I was
gosh.
33. So you got like 11 years to figure it out, but like, you don't need that much time. I'm just telling you, it's really, people overcomplicate this business. You got to take action. You're going to take risk. You're going to fail a little bit, but in the long run, you will blow your mind what will happen
just
in your life.
do me a huge favor. I have a friend, one of my old roommates in college who lives in Pensacola. I'm trying to motivate him to start wholesaling there. Can you just do a bunch of deals for me so I can just show him? Look at that. Look, he's the same age as you.
All right.
Yeah, he's making money. Go do it. And he's got my personal cell. Never text me at all how to get into wholesaling. I always tell him we should do wholesaling. I'm like, you're in Pensacola, man. And he's like, nah, I ain't going to do it, And I'm like, So for now, just do a bunch of deals so I can go send this to him and then brag to him and so he can start it. But just do me that favor.
All right, guys. And you do these every Thursday, the one-on-ones?
Every Thursday, man.
All right, guys.
You got to believe in yourself first, man. Like, that's the biggest thing. You got to do it. Don't worry about anybody else says. It's your belief system. I've already given you a 20-year path. I've given you a 5-year path here. You got it.
You got this, man.
Guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, okay? I'll keep listening, learning, going through wholesaling.com. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.
Got this, man.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it. Hello, Joel.
Can you hear me, guys? Hello.
What's up?
We hear you.
All right. How you doing, Zach? Again
Doing
and
good.
again. Every week I'm on here.
All right, man. What's up? What questions do you got?
All
How
right.
can we help you?
I got some good news. I got some leads. I got a whole list of 2,000 plus skip traced and exported leads. So what I did was I networked with a couple of certain Mastermind students in Arizona, if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I networked with them. So then what they say, they will we can either JV or I can also do the deal myself. So these are all
Okay.
pre-foreclosures. So these are all in North Carolina. Okay.
Okay.
So I haven't done a single cold call yet. I'm gonna be honest, since the last time I talked to you.
Okay. Bro, come
Yes.
on. You got
Now
this,
I'm
man.
motivated to do it because now I have someone on my side at least. So
Let me ask you a question. What stopped you from now till 6:30 to call that list?
just confusion on what to say. That's why I'm here.
All right.
Like what to
So
say and how do you not mess up? Like
all right.
the thing is, how do you coordinate with the buyer? I do not want to turn off the seller or get them. I don't want to screw the seller. I want to get the deal sold. So like, pre-foreclosures are very sensitive. You know what I
What
mean?
market is this list?
North Carolina, all over North Carolina, Jacksonville, Fayetteville,
I know
Goldsboro,
like 7 cash
Greensboro.
buyers in Jacksonville. Do me a favor. If you have a deal in Jacksonville, I'll just send it to me. I'll find you a buyer for free. Okay. You got no problem with that. They're all in person there. Fayetteville, easy. I know some. I know some pretty people, good buyers there. They'll go in person and coordinate it for you. Does that make it easier for you?
Yeah, a lot better.
Okay. So
Are you
now
serious?
we're gonna
For
go
free?
over what to say. There's 3 things you have to say when you're cold calling, and I think you know what they are. Are you the
Motivation.
owner? And are you interested? If they say yes, do you know the 4 questions to ask?
Motivation, condition, timeline, and price. Right?
Yes.
He's paying attention.
So he's paying attention. So you tell me you don't know what to say, and then you know.
But like,
So-
how do you coordinate those words? Like, that's the thing. Like,
Well, let's break it down really quick. Ready? Hey, are you the owner of the property?
Yeah, I am.
Are you interested in selling it?
Thought about it.
Okay, now we're 2/3 done right there, right?
mhm.
Next part is okay. Hey, my name is Zach, and I'm looking to buy some properties in the area. Me and my partner. So, can I ask you a couple questions then?
Yeah, how much you gonna offer me for it?
Well, first of all, I need to know a little more about the property before I can give you an offer, obviously. But
Okay.
the reason why I'm asking is like, why would you even be looking to sell the property?
Yeah, I'm actually just looking to downsize.
See, now you ask the motivation, condition. Can you tell me a little bit about the property, like the year built, things like that?
You just have to come take a look at it. It's a little bit rough. It's been empty for 2 years.
Okay. How old's the roof there?
It's like the same roof's been our family for 30 years. So.
Okay. I mean, the reason why I ask
Yeah.
is I just want to see if the roof has to be replaced or not.
Listen, I'm not looking to do inspections and stuff like that. It's got some issues. I'm just looking for a fair offer.
See, that's it. And then you can kind of, most sellers, if they're less motivated than that, they're going to talk about the condition of it. Obviously, you know, I always talk about like if I don't know what to say, or if like, you know, I used to be driving, get a seller call, you know, just generally ask about the condition, the roof, the AC, right? Flooring, is it updated? And, you know, time frame. Hey, in an ideal world, when would be looking just to get rid of the property?
I want to move next month.
You see? And then lastly is price. How much do you need to sell the property for? You give them a price, ballpark. So what I'm going to do right now is, since I'm committed to your success and you've already on here, you've been on here multiple times, I'm going to let you cold call Rick right now. And then you're going to ask all the questions. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go ahead.
And just remember that he is going to be a lot harder on you than any motivated.
You have no idea what I'm
You
gonna
never
do.
know.
That's what sellers
But like,
do. The hardest part's just making the phone call.
what if I just say, hey, F you, you're a terrible person. Go back to what I always say. If someone says something mean to you, they don't truly know you. And the only thing that matters is if your mama loves you. And that's basically it. If my mama thinks I'm cool, that's all that matters. So like, I don't care what anyone else has to say about me. If my mom thinks I'm cool, that's all that matters. So it doesn't matter what someone's going to tell you over the other end of that call. So your turn now is go call him and go through the system. Let's go.
You ready?
All right, let's do this. Hi,
Ring, ring,
my
ring.
name is Joel. I was hoping to speak with the owners of 123 Main Street. Would that be you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Oh, my name is Joel. And
Yeah,
who am
yeah.
I speaking with?
As Rick.
All right. Hello, Rick. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So what can I do for you?
All right. So I'm looking to buy this property, and I'm calling to see if you are willing to consider an offer.
First of all, Joel, that was never in the script.
Mhm.
Ask them if they're looking to sell. Don't even bring offer in there.
Nah, you just
Mhm.
got to.
Don't see offers now putting like wait, why are you trying to offer my property? You just got to see if they're interested in selling.
So remember, 9 out of 10 of these calls,
Are going to be no's.
they're going to be no. So you don't want to waste time. Don't sit there and try to sell someone when they have absolutely zero interest. That's what people got to understand.
Yeah,
in
you're
cold
trying to
calling.
sell the offer off the bat.
But you can't be so numb that you assume everyone's going to say no to you. So you have to be open to it. So let's go back again. Is this the owner of 123 Street? Yes. My name's Rick. Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Joel right here, and
Hey, Joe, what's up?
I'm interested in. I'm looking to see if you're interested in selling your property.
I'm open to it.
All right. May I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, as long as we're not too personal.
All right. So, motivation. All right. So, are you interested? Hold on. So, why are you looking to sell your? No, that's not what I should say, right?
So Joe, just start out with like a natural question. So we teach you the 4 questions to ask. You don't really have to ask them in the same order. Sometimes the seller will offer one up for you. But if you're ever struggling just talking to a seller, just say, can you tell me a little bit about the property, Rick? The more you use my name in there, the more I'm going to pay attention to you and think you're less of a robot. Okay? So just start out with the first one there, just like I told you there.
So, can you tell me more about your property, Rick?
Let's start from the top.
Okay.
He said he's interested in selling.
Yeah, no, I've thought about it. I mean, it's, I do definitely need to get this thing sold, so I'm open to it.
Can you tell me more about the property, Rick?
Let's see, what can I say? It's been a rental the last 5 years. The last year or two, it's been kind of a struggle. My tenants weren't paying me, and I got to do some. Let's just say we got to do some repairs on it. Needs a roof, and I got some various leaks going on with it. I just, I don't even know where to start with a realtor on it, to be honest with you.
May I ask you how old is your roof, and how long have you lived in this property?
So I just told you it was a rental property. So I haven't lived in it the last 7 years, and the roof's is just old. There's no other. I don't know. It's like 20 years plus.
So you do not want to sell with a realtor, right?
I didn't say I wouldn't sell to a realtor. I wouldn't know how to go about doing that. I don't know if that'd be a good fit for this property.
So okay, from here I should say. So if you do decide to sell, how long would you want to sell the house in?
I don't understand what you just asked me.
If you do decide to sell their house, how long would you want to sell it in? How many days?
I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, would be 1 day, I guess. I'm not sure what you're asking me there.
Oh, okay. You know what? I should try this. If you do decide to sell your house, you wouldn't want to sell in the next 30 days, would you?
Okay. So I'm going to give you a little timeout on this one. Joel, just simply ask, Rick, if you sell your house, where are you moving to? Do you understand how simple that question is?
There's a million ways to do it.
Yeah, I know.
My favorite way is always, hey, what's your time frame for selling the property? Do you want to sell this in a week, a month, a year? In a perfect world, when would you be out of the house?
Yeah. So the idea is you want to see it, like how urgent it is. Some people tell you, I don't know.
Joel, the best thing you can possibly do is just go over the questions. And if you have to, which is really not that bad, write down those questions. Are you the owner? Are you interested? Motivation, write out. You know this is on YouTube, so I want you to rewind this and just say the way that me or Rick say it. Transcribe that word for word and just make your own script and then say that word for word.
Listen, it's going to be rough in the beginning. The one thing you're missing, I can tell right off the bat, you're not practicing. and you have to practice. I don't care if it's football, soccer, baseball. You have to practice to get better at it. I've been exposed to hundreds of thousands of people that do this. He's had a ton of exposure. It's the only difference between you and me. So if you really want to just dive in and practice, I suggest never practicing on the leads you pay for. So Rick, what type of leads I do? I don't know. Get on Zillow and start ripping through FSBOs.
I told Joel that last
Yeah, I
week.
know.
Rip through FSBOs. They are not going to be a deal for you. Okay. Because it's kind of a tougher strategy. Like, especially when you're starting out, you're probably not going to deal from them, but here's the cool part. You can practice on them. So Joel, at this point, I'm just going to say, I want you to come back and tell me you called. Actually, honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you. Joel, let me just ask you a straight up question. What are you willing to do to become successful in this business?
Can you repeat again? I didn't hear you.
What are you willing to do to become successful?
So where am I willing to become successful? Okay. So
What are you willing to do?
I'm willing to do is I'm honestly text blasting will be easier for me. Like,
okay, now Joel, you're looking for an excuse here. You're gonna need a cold call because you're gonna need to gain the skills and confidence talking to people. I asked you a question. I'm trying to be completely transparent with you. I'm doing this in the nicest way I possibly can. What are you willing to do to become successful in this business? Do you have to get more desperate for you to actually start calling? Like what is that point where you're actually like, what are you willing to do to become successful?
just I need to gain more confidence and know what to like say, like how to articulate the words and like
what are you willing to do to become successful?
cold call more, practice.
Are you willing to do it?
Yes.
Joel, the only thing you can do, the problem is your actions are going to speak louder than your words right now. I need you to come back to me and tell me you cold called 100 for sale by owners, contacts where someone said hello, you went through those questions, and you come back to me, and I'll help you out again.
We'll role play you one
honestly,
more time, and I can tell you if you did it or not.
And here's the cool, this is recorded, so I can tell. Joel, this is what you're going to have to do. And here's the interesting part. You're going to have an old person. This is no tip I can give to you for people watching. You're going to have an older person call you, and then you're going to say, hey, my name's Joel. They're going to say, who? Joel. What? Who? Just got to say this. For an older person to say, hey, just like Billy Joel, they will instantly not forget your name. They'll associate those two. It'd be like
think
that.
of Billy Joel. You call me old now.
No, I'm not calling you old, but like
Okay.
if people are going to be like, Joel, like Joe, how do you spell it? Like, because you always get that. Be like, hey, you know Billy Joel? Yeah, just like him.
Yeah.
You'll never get questions what your name is after that because he's so famous. That's kind of like that. So I would use that as an advantage too, because but I need you to come back, call 100. Props to you for coming on. I can tell you right now, I would give you the props. Now it's up to you to cold call 100 of those people, are the for sale by owners in those markets you've been talking about in North Carolina, and then come back to me. Okay?
Sure.
And let's do it. And if you come back and say you didn't do it, I will literally cold call with you next week. And I'm going to have you do it in front of everyone live. So think of what's worse, cold calling these people live in front of everyone or cold calling in secret and no one can really see it. It's up to you, man. If you are actually serious, God forbid you get sick or anything next week or anything, but like if you are actually serious about being successful in this business, it's not even watching any more videos, honestly. Like cut out the videos for an entire week. We'll get less views. I don't care.
You just
Cut out those videos, focus on 100 and cold call 100, then stop watching videos and come back to me. I promise you, nothing I say for the next week is going to be more important than you doing that for yourself. I promise you that.
Joel, you got this. You've already lined up at the line of scrimmage. Like there's
We believe in you.
There's no more coaching other than you've got to start taking the steps in the action.
I can't coach you any more than doing that.
We can't do the rest.
We're
for
telling you what to do.
So you're going to get feedback when you start making these calls, and then you'll find problems, and then that's when you get on these lives. But I don't want you on next week to say, well, I'm still thinking about calling. Because
you only got one. I only gave you one excuse, and you already said you didn't do any calls this week. So you already paid up. There's no more excuses. And Joel, I'm going to say this in the nicest way. If you hop on tomorrow and tell me you didn't call and you didn't, God forbid, get sick or something, we're not going to take your call.
we don't want to get sick.
We don't want you to get sick. If you get sick, fine, we'll talk to you. But we're not going to take that call till you get 100.
Just go, man.
I'm saying this in the nicest way.
Sure. The motivation is there.
That is how bad we want you to succeed. And that is how confident we are of what your next step is for success is calling 100.
It's just like in wrestling and football. At some point, the kid's got to go and hit the other kid. And some people like how it feels. Some people it hurts. You do wrestling. Eventually, you got to shoot.
It's
take
now or
the other
never.
guy
Joel-
down. You have to do it.
Joel, this is your fork in the road where like you choose to start taking that path to success. And that's the next step. So I believe in you. I don't want to stop you anymore because it's 6:44. You got a full hour right now to start calling those people. And transcribe what we said, make a script, and start calling.
Sure.
And we can tell very easily if you did those calls or not. We believe in you, though. I'm telling you right now. We're not saying this in a mean way. We believe in you.
We want to help you, but you got to take the steps, though. I can't make you do it.
Gotta take the action. It just the overthinking part is what's killing me.
So you know how you kill overthinking? You start doing. Just start doing it. It's going to feel wildly uncomfortable. It works.
Just do it.
No one's going to hurt you on the phone. I promise you. They're not
I'm at the
hurt
point
you.
now. I don't even think of like when you tell me to say the 4 questions. I don't even think about it. It's
automatic.
It's
after you get through your first 100, it'll be automatic forever for you.
But that's kind of like you look at a boxer or a fighter when they get that ring and they're stressed. When you're that stressed or like you're that like in the moment, you go to your instincts. And that's the reason like cold calling, like when you're a stressful closing situation, I have to go to my instincts. And I got that closing line memorized so much.
Yeah.
And that's the way I do it, right?
And
it's my instincts.
is repetition and doing and repetition. You're missing those two. It's the only thing you're missing. You've done everything else. Do it.
I got the info, but I just need to put this
I want you to practice and I want you to do. Like at some point, practice has to turn into a game. Okay. And remember, there's no failures in life. Everything's a learning moment. What you do with that failure will decide your future. And that's what's going to shape people. People that don't want to fail, they never want to fail, and they're worried about what everybody thinks about them, their future is already determined. They're not on this stream here.
You got this, man. You come back, get some calls, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks for being honest and straight up with me. I actually needed this.
You got it, Joel.
Motivation from you too.
We believe in you, dude.
We believe you.
Go
You got
out
it,
here,
Joel.
rewatch us, and get it going.
All right. Thank you so much, Zach. And
okay.
I appreciate you too, Rick.
See you, bud.
See you.
Thank you.
All right. Speaking of people who know line of scrimmages really well, we got JoJo. He knows a thing or two about line of scrimmage, right?
What up, guys? How you guys doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Wanted to get on today. I needed some advice. So you answered my question on Facebook. Pre-foreclosures. I've never wholesaled a pre-foreclosure before. And we came across one here in Arlington, Texas. And so here's the details. They have $70K left on the mortgage, and they have a $180,000 lien on it from a divorce. And so they're I think the wife is kind of in denial. She's like saying there's no, they're not in pre-foreclosure. They just got into pre-foreclosure yesterday. And then the husband is like, okay, we need to make something happen. So I just need some advice. How do I go about this? So
yeah. First of all, you're the expert. So did you go through the pre-foreclosure video I did a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I was watching it last night.
So the reason why I tell you that because your seller's going to be asking you questions and you're going to have to be knowledgeable about it so you to win out on that deal. So you have the knowledge of it. The thing have you wholesaled the house before?
Yes.
You wholesale some deals and those deals have mortgages and liens on it, right?
Yep.
The same thing, man.
It's no different.
It's no different.
It's actually the same. What's the ARV on that house?
I think the ARV was around I want to say 200, and so that's the thing is there's 180,000 lien and a 70K mortgage. So how do I
what's
get
the
that?
$180,000 lien?
I guess the lien is from a divorce. I don't even know how that works, honestly.
Child support, divorce. So
yeah, that's from a divorce.
So in that video, we kind of explained if the amount owed is more than the value, then you're in a short sale, but there's rarely any short sales.
So let me just save you some time. You have a title company you're comfortable working with?
Yep.
Okay. Ask them about this lien specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So liens are kind of funny when it comes to like divorce, IRS, child support liens.
Texas is rough on child support. Like they will
They're
destroy an
pretty
entire deal.
hardcore. But
Tell me how I know that.
if so, I assume this is a house that's joined by a husband and a wife, and I assume they're going through a divorce, or
Yeah.
okay. These are brutal, dude. Like I'm just gonna tell you, like if you ever dealt with two people that hate each other, it's like first of all, talk to the title company and see if that lien can be transferred off that property. Because the only way that you can actually, in my opinion, make it work.
I don't know Texas homestead laws either.
Well, that's what I said. Talk to
Yeah.
the title company. Remember, you don't need to know everything. You're the expert in finding motivated sellers. Like I bring these problems to my title company all the time.
Here's the thing. We're not the, like when we get child support liens, all these crazy liens, we're not the experts on it. We have to go to the title company and ask them on like some of these crazy ones. So again, we defer to the title company, and that's going to help you out.
The fact that it's a husband and wife, and like I'm sure it's a settlement agreement.
Yeah.
A lot of times if they both parties agree to take it off, unless they owe a bank a ridiculous amount of money, because I don't even know where it originated from.
Yeah.
They can get permission to lift that off so they can actually get some more money for them. You obviously want to give them some money. Otherwise they have no incentive of doing the deal. And then you can still wholesale the house. So it's critical to find out what that is, a monster lien. And it puts the house up, upside down, potentially 30 or 40,000. So did they give you any details on the lien?
Yeah, so I'm working on this one with someone else, and I'm actually going to call him after I talk to you and just get a little more information. But so what he told me is the lien is $180,000 from a divorce, and they're in pre-foreclosure, so they obviously haven't made any payments, $70,000 mortgage. So I guess they had some equity in it until.
But it doesn't make sense to me. So if it's like a divorce decree and it's recorded against the house,
it should be against the person.
Yeah, because it's like both of them. So it like
unless she gets it or he gets it, because you don't know who gets owed the money.
Just talk to the title company. The main thing, Jojo, is you don't want to waste time.
And here's the thing: that 180 could just be on the husband. So technically, it's only 90 off.
It could be half of it. Like and plus, she's going to want her money. They both want to move on.
Yeah.
And your job's to help solve a problem, but like, don't waste time if you can't solve the problem.
And this could be is this a previous divorce too? And then it could be on them. They get married. See, it's like, I need a title company. I got to read it between you and me though. Go to the public records and just read it. Like you don't have to be a lawyer.
Reading it and you'll figure it
out.
It
actually kind of makes sense the way you read it. Go to public records, search the last name. It'll pop up and just read it.
Just read it. See if you can make heads or toe and talk to your title company. And you're going to have to do something with that lien to make this thing work.
You could say this. I think you can. You just got to read it though.
Like who they making the lien payments to.
Yeah. Just get a title company.
And who's foreclosing, the $180,000 lien or the mortgage?
Yeah, that is true.
So get as much detail on it. And honestly, title companies they're pretty good about pointing the right direction because they don't get paid unless your deal closes as well too. So when I used to struggle in the beginning, I don't want you to be an expert on liens and stuff. You got to be a deal maker, like find motivated sellers, find cash buyers. Don't get into the weeds. Guys, everybody listen to this. Do not get in the weeds on these liens because I don't want you to be a lawyer. I don't care. Tell me how I can buy this property and make it work. Is there any options? Is it with the husband and the wife? They agree with it? Tell me if I can do something. Because without that, because someone's taking a haircut eventually here some way. If you can't lift that lien, it puts the house in a short sale position, which simply means they owe more than the house is worth. Banks don't even want to hear about a short sale right now. They don't care. So, and also find out who's foreclosing, the 180 or the 70. You get rid of that 180. It's phenomenal. And just so you know, I once found a deal where it had a $90,000 lien. It was going to make it completely upside down. I assumed I was going to get my butt kicked. At the end of the day, we found out it was a private mortgage and the company went bankrupt and I got the whole 90,000 wiped out. So just be open to it. Talk to the title company, do a little research on your own. And if you can make it work, help them out. If not, just kind of move on like to the next one. Are they still living in the house?
Yeah, they're still living in the house. She wants way too much. There's no comps that support the number she wants. So I have to talk to her.
What kind of number she want?
She wants $400,000 for a house in Fort Worth.
So Jojo, just be careful you don't waste your time because you already got like a crazy lien. And listen, divorce is tough on it. Like it's tough. And
divorce.
You throw some kids in there too. I personally, Jojo, I avoid divorces. Like I just, because you know what? I've invested like 50, 60 hours in with the husband or the wife. And then now you're the arch enemy because you've befriended
they
the
hate
person
each
that
other.
I hate.
It's every divorce I've dealt with. I've done some deals like them, but every divorce always ends up like it's you. I'm not saying this is every husband. Most husbands are like, just take it for 100. And then the wife says,
get rid of it. I don't care. The wife's like, no, I want $1 million.
She's like, my girlfriend friend Nancy says she could list her for $500,000. And then the deal, you spend all this time and it's like, so
I've had them at the closing table, like pit against each other, and you get caught in the middle. I'm like,
do some research before you really get into it. But
divorces are tough, guys. It's a challenge. So if you can find a divorce where they're being amicable and they want to get rid of the dang thing, that's fine. But man, if they're at war, so if I befriend the husband and they go, oh, you just got to go get the wife's permission. I tell you, man, I've walked into some serious storms. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why? If I called her first, I would have never even wasted my time. Because I told you she was crazy, or I told you he was crazy, and 9 times out of 10, they're right.
Yeah.
So just guard your time on it.
Definitely. I also have another project in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. It's like I got it at like 53% of the Zillow price. The seller has tenants in the property. He says they're paying $1,000 a month, which is pretty damn good for that area.
Okay.
But I don't have interior pictures. The outside is not bad, but I can't get interior pictures because he lives in Huntsville and he's not going to drive to Birmingham to get the photos. I'm trying to find a buyer, or I really just started trying to find a buyer. What would you guys suggest? Just wait till I get some photos of the inside to get it on contract, because he's ready to go at the price.
Here's a tip. Get the tenant's phone number and ask them, hey, we might have someone inspect the property or just to take pictures of it. Literally get the tenant's phone number, say, hey, if you want to send us pictures of the house and then we won't have to bring anyone in. It's a shot you can get that, right?
Yeah.
Or you pay someone $50 with an iPhone to take
or give the
it.
tenants like a $25 gift card to like a local grocery store or gas. You know, maybe
give them a gas card. Honestly,
I don't think $25 is going to get them far.
But honestly, like, there's ways around it. I would call the tenant, just ask for pictures of the house.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get in. Like, so I've asked the seller to get in contact with the tenants. They don't reply. They don't call back. And I've done a wholesale deal with this seller before. He has a good portfolio, so he's trying to get rid of them all. But his tenants, I've looked at a few of his properties. His tenants, sad to say, are like criminals, and so like they're like dodging him. I can't get in contact. So it looks like a good deal. It's a really good deal.
You get paid on the amount of problems you solve.
Man,
and it seems like a problem.
Yeah, I got a feeling you'll solve this one.
You have to solve. If you've done a deal with the seller before, and this guy has a headache with this tenant, I'm telling you right now, get this tenant's phone number, a cash for keys, and then wholesaling it is going to be amazing.
And write it contingent on inspecting the inside of the property. So I would lock it up now, and then you can kind of put listen, if you want to do it tomorrow or in a month, but either way, I can't close until.
Lock it up, cash your keys, and have the cash buyer send a picture. And you're going to promise this cash buyer, hey, I will let you be the first person to look at this and give me an offer. In exchange, you take pictures of the house for me if you don't decide to buy it.
Yeah.
I know plenty of cash buyers are foaming at the mouth for deals like this that will eat that every single, like they will. I'm the only cash buyer that gets to see this. And I can give an offer before everyone else. They'll do it. Especially Birmingham.
You got to think like on your feet. We get stuff like this all the time. Like, listen, the renters, they don't want you to see it because they think they can prevent the sale if you don't.
Or
go in.
I mean, I see tenants. Maybe they're doing not so good things in the house. Maybe they're like, let's say, smoking in the house, or something, and they just don't want. They don't want anyone in there looking. Hey, it's fine. The part, Jojo, like. If I see someone smoking cigarettes in a house, like a tenant, I'm going back to that seller and getting a 20K reduction.
Yeah, and you go back and get the
And that's the
reduction.
thing you have to realize is it's an easy 20K on a reduction because it actually costs a good amount of money to get a bunch of cigarette smoke out of a house. So that's why you need pictures of proof to the seller. And it's a reason to get it. So you gotta get creative with this. I'd have the cash buyer do it.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, if you ever deal with the tenants, they'll overtell you the truth. Like they give you more ammo to get a discount from like the seller. So whenever we can, but I do try to work with the tenants, man, because they are the key in getting these deals done. So I think you're just gonna have to be creative about it. That's all. Like if it doesn't work this way, go at it the other way. Just make sure, I always tell people the truth, man. Sitting there lying at them, telling me you're an insurance agent or something like that, it's not the way to go in wholesaling.
Yeah. Well, okay.
That's a good problem to have, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's a good deal. So I just got to get interior photos.
Yeah. So let us know how you creatively come up with that. But go ahead and write the contract now and make it subject to, reviewing the property. That way you hold the deal and then you can just kind of deal with them. I get a lot of people when they have vacant properties like, oh, I'm waiting for the owner to mail me a key. Go get a locksmith. Do not wait. Just spend the $75 and get it done.
Yeah.
So go out there and do it, man. You got this.
You got it.
Sounds like a great deal.
Yeah. I have one more question. Same deal. It is a tax deed. And so the seller is wanting to use a quick claim to close this. Would that affect anything for the buyer?
I'm gonna give you the same answer. Just run it by your title company.
Yeah. I don't like quick claim deeds.
Quick claim deeds means you're skipping something.
Yeah. If your cash buyer is going to flip it and if they flip it to a nice FHA buyer, that quick claim deed is going to be a headache and they're not going to like it.
Yeah, you got enough obstacles.
Yeah.
Just talk to your title company. Yeah. But honestly, if you exchange more than $10,000, you got to have assurances. Yeah. So like I'll do 10 grand for something that's got like a messy title, but it's 10 grand. So as long as I can make my money back in 6 months, I'll take that risk. Yeah. But if I'm laying out, what do you think the purchase price is going to be on it? Roughly.
Purchase price like 90 or 95.
Yeah. So would you give someone 90, 95 without the insurance that the title's clean? Absolutely. And you got to think like your cash buyers. They're thinking the exact same way.
No, it sounds easier for the seller, but you got to explain to the seller that like, hey, is it going to cost you any more? You're paying closing costs, right?
It's not going to cost you.
So
unless they're completely hiding something from you.
And
once again, you can go back and look at the transaction on the deed and see, like some people like to sell it without their wife knowing about it, stuff like that. You can't.
Yeah,
do
you're paying for closing costs. They need to play ball with you.
Yeah.
So once again, I would put him under contract first, and then tell him why you have to do a traditional closing, and it's not going to cost
used
them
that
anymore.
seller before, so
they did a traditional closing on your other one.
Yeah, I told them, look, we can go warranty deed, quick claim, but it's going to go through title. Title has to clear.
Yeah. So you're never a quick claim will not be insured by like a title insurance.
You're a legitimate company, right? Yeah. So like you're doing business the legitimate way.
Yeah. So
you should be fine. Put it under contract and then have that conversation afterwards.
Yeah. Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Joe. Keep it up, man.
Yep.
All right. Let's get Isaac. What is up, Isaac?
Isaac, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I just want you guys to do me a favor. I want to go over my script, and I want you to be like brutally, like the most ignorant seller possible.
We might not do. I guess. What are you trying to get at? Are you just trying to do a worst case scenario?
No, I'm trying to perfect my script. I'm trying to be able to like conquer any given situation I'm given, so I'll be able to come up with stuff in a minute. Because I don't want to sound like I'm reading off of a script, I just made this up, and I want you guys to see how it is with any given objection, stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Isaac, are you you're in New York, right?
Yeah, I'm in New York, but I'm not.
We've talked. You're actually pretty good cold calling, man. So give it to me, man. You got some experience. Let's get it.
Okay, hey, this wouldn't happen to you, Zach, would it?
Huh?
Hey, this wouldn't happen to you, Zach, would it?
Say that again.
He said this happened.
This wouldn't happen to be Zach, would it?
This wouldn't happen to be Zach. Is
Yeah,
what he
my
said.
mic.
I was trying to give you a clever way.
The volume's got the volume all messed up on that.
I got my hearing aid down, so
All
I
right.
apologize.
This is Zach.
Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was in the area and I seen your property and I loved it. You wouldn't happen to be selling it by any chance?
Which area do you like?
Okay, yeah, I was in the property on Jacksonville, Florida, 123 Main Street.
Okay. Are you from that area?
I'm not specifically from the area, but I took a trip down the area, and I tell you, it looked nice, man. I'm actually a local investor in the area. I like to buy properties as is, and your property looked like it would fit my portfolio. I wanted to know. I know this is random out of nowhere, but I wanted to know if you was interested in selling your property for a non-obligated cash offer, of course.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a resident in this area, then come by. Love to see the property.
I mean, yeah. I know this is random, like I said, but if you were able to come to terms on a price, they wouldn't happen to anybody else that's a decision maker on the property, right?
No, just be me.
Okay, and did I catch you at a good time to talk about it now, or?
Sure. I mean, I'm kind of busy right now, but you can swing by Saturday if you want to come look at the house.
I mean, I just need a few questions before I'd be able to look at it to see if it'll be able to fit my description.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. So how's the condition of the property? I've seen the outside, but I didn't even get the chance to see the inside. So how's the condition of it?
It's pretty good.
Do you know the last time you did any repairs on the property?
I never got it appraised.
Oh, you never got it appraised. So the property, has there been any repairs in the last 5 years?
I think I fixed the spigot on the side once. A couple
on
years
the
ago.
side. Okay, yeah. Are you familiar with the show HGTV?
Say that again?
Are you familiar with the show HGTV?
HDTV?
Yeah, so it's basically a show where they fix up houses like 2022 standards. And I wanted to ask you, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do to that specific property to make it 2022 standards? Any issues, anything that you would fix up that I need to know?
I'd probably put a pool in the back.
That'd be nice.
Okay, yeah. Let's go based off, interior, like structural, anything you feel like is a major cause on a property that wouldn't make it look 2022 standard. What would you do to it? Kitchen, bathroom, anything.
I really like it. I like living here.
Okay, yeah, you like living here. Okay, yeah. Is there any major issues on the property that you're aware of, or no?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. All right. So if you were able to come to terms on the price of the property, when are you looking to potentially move out the property?
Probably a couple months.
A couple months. Would you say 90 days? Like any days?
Yeah, about 90 days.
Anywhere specific you're looking to move?
Say that. Come again?
Anywhere specific that you're looking to move?
Stay in Duval County.
Okay, staying in Duval County. I actually have a local realtor here. If you wanted to, I could hook you up with him and he could find you a nice property.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Do you know how much your property's worth? Do you know anything that you're looking to get out the property, specific amount of number?
How much are you willing to buy it for?
Like I said before, I wouldn't want to disrespect you with a low offer. I also want to know, like, is there any number in your mind?
Not really. I mean, just come by and see if you're gonna come by and buy it.
I mean, the way I tend to run my business, I know this may be new to you, but I tend to run offers based off a sight unseen. I've been doing this I work with local investors who does this for a couple of years, So I tend to purchase sight unseen and then send a partner to take pictures of the property. So if you were able to get a number out,
you're gonna buy my house sight unseen without looking at it.
Okay, I understand how that'd be an issue. I understand. I mean,
I'm just old school. I'm old school,
Yeah, I understand. I did drive by the property, like I said the other day.
Oh, you drove by it? You drove by the house?
And I told you I loved it. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I loved it.
Well, hey, come by Saturday. I'll show you the inside, and if it works, we can get an agreement going. If you drove by it, just come by.
Okay, and you wouldn't happen to be able to give an offer, not give an offer, but give a.
Just come by Saturday.
Okay.
I'm retired. I got nothing going on.
Saturday, what time works for you?
10 a.m.
Saturday, 10 a.m. All right, sounds good. I didn't get to catch your name. It was Zach?
This is Zach.
Okay, my name is Isaac. So just save my number and I'll call you around 9:30 to confirm the appointment.
All right. Sounds good, Isaac.
All right, thank you.
Bro, Isaac,
Yeah.
are you still in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm in the Bronx. Yeah.
You're okay. You're in the Bronx. How are you going to come by on Saturday in Jacksonville?
Yeah, that was. I'm not gonna lie to
Bro,
you, man. I was
All
thinking.
right. Let me tell you straight up. This is business 101. This is how I'm brought up. This is how you got to be real with people. Do not lie.
You're gonna get
Hey,
caught.
you're going to get caught in a lie. And you don't have to. Here's the difference. I could have had the same conversation in the Bronx and done really well. All you had to do is change one part of this, right? It's two things. First of all, you saying you drove by the house is a lie, so we're gonna cut that off.
Mhm.
Next part is me and my partners are looking to buy a house in Jacksonville. The biggest difference between that is now it's you and your partners. That's gonna change the game, bro.
Okay.
You're gonna put fear in them.
Now-
They think a whole clan's gonna
Yeah.
show up to look at the house.
Now, Isaac, are you really gonna look to buy that property and hold it in your portfolio?
No.
No. So your partner, though, your cash buyer, might want to do it in their portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
This gives you legitimacy. And that's how you have to approach the situation. And then, this is Florida, man. Everyone says, oh, just come by the house at Saturday, and come look at it, right? The problem with I went because I heard two lies, and then you said in the last part, you told me to be critical, so I'm being critical here.
Yeah, for sure.
You said I didn't catch your name, and you started with the line of, "Hey, is this Zach?"
Yeah.
Just understand that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like, my cold calling script's going to be the best, and I'm saying this humbly. You got to keep it simple, and I keep it real with people. The reason why my script is so short like this is because you have to be real in between the lines.
Yeah.
You are looking to buy someone's house for cash, and you and your partner are trying to do that. Tell me a little about the property. Now, I see the script that you're going. I know whose script you're talking about. No knock on this person's script, but I'm just saying the way of saying, oh, the way my company works is this. That's fine. You have to go by it in a way when you're doing virtual of saying, hey, the way my company works is my partner's going to come by and see the property after we get an agreement. You just can't say we're gonna buy the sight unseen. Most cash buyers
people out.
are going to get freaked out. Now, if you say we do an agreement and then our partner's going to go by and see it,
Yeah.
way better.
Okay.
Tweak those things and you'll do a lot better. I'm telling you.
Okay.
So Isaac, a couple of things on it. Just slow down and breathe, because there's going to be opportunities when you're connecting with him to build rapport. Like when he laughs at something or something's funny, you can kind of expand. That's how you turn a script into a conversation.
Okay.
So you've got to use these 2 ears. Even though I know you're trying to get to an agenda, the only way you can connect with people and to get really good deals is have amazing rapport. And so if they give you the opportunity to make it personal, go with it. If you're doing virtual and you guys know you're doing virtual, don't tell them you're driving by the property, because you're going to get caught eventually in the lie and it's going to cost you a deal. So just straighten out your virtual part of it. And Zach had some good points on that. And the other one, when you like offering the realtor, you're going in uncharted waters. You don't know how that's going to go down.
Yeah.
And honestly, in this market, do you really want to hook them up with a realtor to show them the shock and awe of what like new properties cost? It's terrible. And I've lost a lot of deals on offering that service, thinking I'm helping up front, and it actually killed my deal in the long run. I don't want to be responsible for him buying a new house, because you know what's going on in the market. It's a nightmare. And I've had it even work against me in really bad markets. So less is more. Stick to your points. And the only ones I want you to expand on is when you have the ability to build massive rapport.
Okay.
Like Zach goes, yeah, it's kind of like the sun out there because I like being out on the boat. And you're like, oh, that's really cool. What kind of boat do you have? That's the expansion you go on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Work on it, man. I'm telling you is say the truth. You will never like, I don't, it sounds sexier. I know there's people that'll tell you about wholesaling, just lie about it. Say you drove by the house. I personally, when I say I drove by a house, I will only say that if it's in my local market, because I know how many opponents are. Because when I say I drove by a house, in Port St. Lucie, I guarantee when someone says they sold a house, there's an 80% chance I've driven by that house once in my entire life.
Yeah.
80% chance.
And they'll ask you, what day did you drive by? Like, you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
people will bust you on
thing
this
is,
one.
but the cool part about us is like when there's a wholesaling deal in Port St. Lucie, 95% of the deals there within half a mile, we've personally bought in a house there. We can do that. I would be a little more careful saying that as virtual. Dude, just say the truth, man. Work on that script. It's good. I would simplify it and say the truth more and just tweak a little bit of it, and you're going to do good, man. I'm just telling you, I'm not an expert at cold calling or like the sales script thing, so I just have to be real. That's who I am. I don't feel good in my soul lying to people, so I can't do it. And I get nervous, clammy, right? Like I'd be a terrible actor. But that's the honest truth is I can only be me. So
once you start one lie, you're going down a slippery slope, and it's hard to keep track of the truth. So listen, you're going to lose some deals over it, but like I'd rather you not lose a deal and just be able to sleep at night and talk to people. And as I said, just what Zach's doing, less is more. The only time you expand is to build rapport, but don't go down like the realtor road. Like, remember, they're trying to get to know you, and you suddenly hit them with a couple partners. They're like, they're going to, so I go like, who's your partners? What's their deal? Do they have to make a decision?
Yeah. So Isaac, honestly, like that's what we do. Change it.
But you're good. You're good at the conversation part. Just slow it down, and you got it. Just get your virtual game like figured out. So just find out what roads you don't want to go down, and it'll help you out a lot. Boom.
Okay. And another quick question I have for you guys is, I actually have a property under contract right now, and I'm having some buyers go look through the property. But my only concern is that there are different buyers, there are different people, and when they go meet the seller, because the property's not vacant, so when they go meet the sellers, some of them told them that they seen the property through Facebook. I tried to condition them and tell them that they would go as my partners, but it looks kind of sketchy when different people come at different times and they keep meeting different other people. Like that partner excuse tends to start running out. It starts to look a little fishy.
Why didn't the first cash buyer buy the house?
So the problem with this specific property is that there's no comps within the 0.5 mile radius, but within the 1 mile radius, there's a lot of comps. And the driveway is extremely long. Like the driveway is very, very long. So even
why didn't the first cash buyer buy it?
Huh?
Why didn't the first cash buyer buy it?
The first cash buyer said that it was worth less than my asking price.
What was the second? Why did the second cash buyer say? Why didn't they buy it?
The second cash buyer, actually, only one was able to go inside the property. The other ones wasn't able to go inside.
All right. Walk through more. If you're walking multiple cash buyers to their house and it's never the deal that's the problem, it's never the cash buyer. It's usually the price.
Yeah.
So
cash buyers
we rarely will go through more than 2 walkthroughs on a house because we don't put anything under contract unless it's a deal. Most of the time, if it's too high, it's too high. Now, one cash buyer could be trying to get you. I don't know. There's not a problem. Bring a second one through. Now, if that cash buyer is a problem with the price, you're gonna have to get a reduction.
Okay. Yeah, because many of them asking me when can I see it, but I can't send 5 different cash buyers on 5 different days.
Send a second one through. Send a second one through.
And you got to underwrite your cash buyers over the phone before you send them there.
And what happened when you went to that cash buyer and asked them if they're okay with that price? Did they say yes before they walked through to that price?
I mean, it was listed on the marketplace, so they were texting me about the property.
Isaac, did they say yes to the price that you offered to them before they walked through the house?
No, they just actually
no. They don't walk through then.
Yeah,
they have to say yes to that price before they walk through.
You're just going to burn out your seller if you keep running them all through there. So when I say underwrite them on the phone, you go, listen, I got this property. It's $200,000. You know, it needs like 15 grand worth of repairs. This is the issue. It's the roof, the AC. And here's I'm offering you at 200, ARV's like, I don't know, 295. With these numbers said, does that work for you?
I'm just
and either going to go yes or no, and then they walk through the property. They go, and they'll typically say, well, the repairs seem a little bit more than what you talked about, and then you can talk about the numbers with that. So,
okay, yeah, and getting pictures was also a problem because the seller is disabled, so she's not really able to take many pictures of the property. That's
Well-
why I was heavily relying on the walkthrough part, because
Yeah.
pictures I got 5 of them, and that was a struggle to get, and it wasn't the best. Because the seller herself tried the best, but I don't want to, put stress on her, because she's disabled, like I said before. So pictures of the
Have the
property
cash buyer
was
take
a
pics.
problem.
Kind of like what we told JoJo,
work one of your cash buyers, but you're good on the phone. Just a couple adjustments, just like tell the truth and listen. You got problems just like everybody else does. You just have to solve them as you go through. You need to vet these buyers before they get over there.
Okay.
And make sure they're good with the numbers. And then if they're not good with the numbers, they give you feedback. And based on that feedback, you decide if they're just a bad buyer or if you need to make a price adjustments. And then by the time the second buyer comes in, you should pretty much have it locked and loaded to get a deal done. So you just don't.
All right, sounds good.
You're not a realtor. You can't wait for like the average feedback. You need to get down to the hardcore numbers.
That's
Sounds
it.
good, sounds good. All right, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, Isaac. We'll
All
talk to you soon. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Boom. Say the truth. Real quick, we got Wade. Wade, what is up?
Wade, you there?
William.
William. Calling William.
Boom. All right. Now we got
Eduardo. Eduardo, you there?
Dang.
I've
I give
given
people
out,
a
like,
chance
free
to hop
lives.
on. So guys, when you hop on, get ready because we're gonna hop you on.
Yeah, you're there.
Fernando's ready to go. I popped him up. He's ready to go.
Fernando's still there.
He was
too,
up there.
man.
JoJo's on there. So did I tell you, JoJo? He played in the NFL. That's why I said the scrimmage
I
thing.
didn't know that.
Yeah, we got. I got some people asked, was that JoJo Mack from the
I love me some
that used to
football.
be the Commanders, the team before the Commanders. That's all I could. I guess I have to say that, but. The team that used to be the Commanders, I think he played for him. But
I just feel for Redskins fans. Did
oh
you
my-
change
just
my
said
team's
you
name?
can't
I would
say
lose
that.
it.
Oh my gosh. But guys, at the end of the day, go out here and find those sellers and start marketing. I think the theme of today was going out here and
Hold on, I saw one other one. I was
the theme of today
Keep
is
talking.
just taking action and going after it. So like that's all I could say. So if you're struggling taking action, it's honestly coming down to actually going out there doing it.
Hey, run as fast as you can. It's not going to
For
work
what?
out.
What do you say?
Just got a short sale.
I got a
They-
short
they
sale,
wanna
and the
re-
seller is very
yeah.
involved. I told the seller you must do this.
Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move
Unless
on.
you control 100% of it, it's literally a waste
Yeah.
of time.
So guys, go out here, take action. It's going to change your life, and that's all I could tell you. Keep it up, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a blessed one. We'll see you Tuesday. So get it going, guys.
See you
Appreciate
guys.
it. All love.
Appreciate it. Have a great week.